tall enough. I don't ever rank on
We're gonna figure this out today, guys. We just don't have Bradley here. So we have Kaylee and Jesse teaching. They are together. They're key Utah realtors.
Together business partners, not married.
Yeah, get that off.
Yeah.
You do. They are married.
You said
but to
partners
other
one
people.
time. Yeah. And
I
they're
would
like,
say-
oh, okay, we're like, no, like business partners, sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing, because we're a team technically, but that feels so misleading and weird to me because it's just us two.
Yeah.
So I'm like
Business partners. They
Yeah.
are married, but to other
Yeah.
people.
I just do my business.
They, Kaylee is massive on social media.
Yes.
So I don't know if you guys were already friends with her or followed her before real estate. Did anybody?
I don't think I'm from.
You know, don't you have like how many people do you have? You
Like
just know
40.
who they all, like you just know them all, you know all four of
I
them.
don't know them all. I know their faces, some of their faces, not all of them. They'll call me out.
A lot of people. You know what, though?
I'm surprised.
She has a database of like, what is it, 1,200 people?
In command.
Yeah, and we'll be going through it. She's like, oh yeah, this and this and this and this about them. I'm like, how do you remember 1,000 people? So
Crazy.
she's
I only
got-
do when I have their names down.
She's got it.
Do you have accountability stuff you need to go through? first?
Well, tell me just for a quick minute, but
Okay.
these guys love to teach. So, no, really, and you guys are good, and they like to give you guys tons
Where's
of
that
information.
Code word for we like to go over time.
Yeah. So,
And they're
gonna-
fantastic.
Always got overtime every time.
Every single
Super
time.
fun. So they're gonna teach you guys,
And they're-
capture lead, every lead, right? It's the two.
Yep.
So did anybody, has anybody started lead generating now since you started taking Ignite? You have.
I just signed a contract.
You have.
Looked into some platforms like HubSpot and stuff, some CSM software, you know. But,
CSM software. Tell me more about why you're looking.
or
into that.
CRM, sorry.
Tell me why you're looking into that.
Just something that works, you know. So
You're not here, right?
I'm not here, no, I'm at Exit.
Come here
Realty
and get
Management.
your map.
Do you have the paperwork? Just kidding. He said, do you have the paperwork?
Gonna need Lauren for that.
Lauren, you can't.
Command is a CRM. right?
Command is a CRM, yeah.
Command is all the things in me.
It's a CRM, a transaction management system, it's everything.
Because I feel like it's kind of hard to get both the CRM, the transaction management, checklists, and your,
And the marketing
and
stuff.
yeah, all
of
the
it.
marketing stuff.
Mhm.
I was gonna say designs.
But
My
yeah.
other thing is, I like
tracking
to
your
connect the Facebook too. I don't know if you, who is all plugged into Command and played around with it.
I haven't done all of it, but
So when you go in and you edit the details, it's scroll down like other spot and then you can connect social profiles. And then so it's on the
Oh, cool.
left-hand side and you can click it and it goes right to their page. So before you call, you can check out what's going on in their life if they're on social media.
So in each contact card, so like if Kaylee's a contact in my command, then I can link her social media to that card, and when I'm gonna call her, I can click on her social media and I can be like, oh my gosh, you have been
That's
taking
not
so
what I
much
was
time,
thinking of.
like, tell me, like, how's that going here? You can find out what they're doing in their life,
Really big sour. So that's,
lots of stuff.
It's a problem right now.
you do it for each individual
Like grow it?
contact in command.
Make
You
it,
have,
yeah.
you
Oh,
have Facebook.
I'm talking about like grow this out.
And you can have.
Oh, yeah. I thought sour.
Whatever, yeah,
Yeah.
social media.
Twitter,
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Do I give any away? If you came to Bites and Insights, I had plenty here.
What?
Was here.
Yeah.
So did you try?
No, I know.
Sour.
I
You know what,
I got
talk soon.
Like the only reason I maintained Snapchat for as long as I did was because Kaylee used to snap all the time. And I had to reciprocate. Now neither of us snap.
Yeah.
I do not, I never got Snapchat, I don't know how.
I don't like that things disappear. I'm like,
Oh.
Well, I think
I
now you can actually, they made it so that you have to go into like, I think. settings.
You can make it stay for
Stay-
24 hours, some of them.
Stay, yeah, some of them 24 hours, or I think if you just.
Just
save
like
the
highlight
text,
it, yeah.
Yeah, it'll actually just save it.
well, that's handy. I just, to me, I'm like, that's kind of weird. I know that's like the thing, and I'm like, that's kind of devious, so it's never really appealed to me.
The
But
only
you're
reason
free,
it
why
does
do you
me is
need
'cause I've got
this?
3 transactions from it.
I know, yeah, you guys, yeah.
But I think
But
it's the
one
same
time, like-
principle of social media. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, Kaylee, you get most of your business,
90%.
90% of your business
It
on
only has
social
the
media.
stuff I saved for sure.
So one person has started lead generating, you've started lead generating, and Sal, you have, so you three.
And then
that-
Pat has as well.
Well,
And yeah, Cat for sure has. Cat just took a listing right now, right before she got here. Well, that's exciting. Melina, you've done some open houses. Skyly, you've done open houses. Anna, you have not, and Angelina, not yet. Okay,
Like shadowed Catherine, I think, but.
perfect. Okay. So we should, now that you guys learned about lead generating yesterday, at yesterday's class, you guys are all ready. Just start lead generating. Nobody's gonna say, yes, I need to sell my house in 5 minutes or I'm not gonna use you. And if they do, call one of us and we'll help you get it. The chances are really slim. They're gonna say that. They're gonna say, oh, I'm thinking about selling in the spring or the summer or whatever, and we're gonna have time to work with that. But if you're not in front of them first and gathering the mind share, which they're gonna talk about today, then you're gonna lose it to another agent. So just be lead generating. I wanted, think that the weekends are good. You can call people on the weekends. Like, people think I have to do it Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You can call them in the afternoons, on the weekends. You can call them at midnight. They probably will answer, right?
Well, if you think about it,
Yeah.
if you call me at like 9 o'clock, I just dropped off my kid from school. I'm trying to get everything ready for the day. Like, I'm probably not gonna answer my phone. So you kind of have to look at who your clientele is too, as far as what time you're calling.
I thought TCPA, you couldn't call after like 9 or 10.
She meant 9
9
a.m. Yeah, I do.
Oh,
think
okay.
that's on
Yeah.
TCPA.
But she said you could call, she said midnight. I heard it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, here's the other question. Are the people that you know, if you're calling them at later than that,
Mhm.
you probably have pretty good rapport with them already and
Right.
they.
I'm not,
pick
and
up,
I was
wouldn't
just
waste
thinking,
your
I'm not
time
really
being
gonna
like,
call somebody at
Yeah.
midnight.
Like, that's the
I'm
thing,
like,
yeah.
hey, you wanna sell your house?
Hey, early on, that's how I got business though, is I respond to like Facebook inquiries and.
In the night? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was a like night owl.
Right, yeah. Hey, I'm gonna ask Kaylee and Jesse a couple of questions. How long, we'll start, I'll just ask you, how long have you been in business?
13 years.
Jesse?
4.5.
4.5 years. Haley, where did your first transaction come from?
Technically social media, but it was friends from school.
And they knew you were doing real estate because you posted about it?
Yep,
on social media?
That's all it was.
Not a secret agent?
No,
Yep, love it, love it. Where, your first transaction came from?
Kaylee,
Joining
working with Kaylee.
who was
And
your first
then
buyer?
I'm trying to remember, it was so long ago. The Wares.
So that one was actually a KSL lead.
That was a KSL.
Yep.
Oh, cause you had met them.
It was an inquiry on
like,
a listing,
like
a
that.
Roy
You
listing
showed-
we had.
Yeah,
Love
I still remember the very first house we went and saw together. I don't know, I don't remember exactly what that, but I remember the layout. Tri-level split,
Yep.
cream
What
color,
they wanted.
exterior, yep.
I remember stuff too.
Fun.
I remember places better than, yeah, anyways.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
I
was
already
thinking-
gave her her reminder of not talking
Yes.
forever.
I'm working.
Okay, what's your favorite way to lead generate?
Facebook.
What's your favorite way to lead generate?
I like door knocking. Like door knocking. Yeah. Door knocking, or I actually don't know cold calling.
So,
Yeah, she's the weirdo that she's like, I don't wanna know the people, I just wanna call.
Yeah.
People I
but
don't know.
something
That's
I
weird.
know.
Okay. That's the nice thing
Sketch.
about real estate though, is like you can have your own little niches in what you enjoy. You don't have to like everything.
right, and there's such a variety to do. Okay, Jesse, what, when you're door knocking, do you have a purpose? Do you always host an open house? Have you door knocked without an open house?
I've done both. Yeah, so door knocking for open houses. I always tend to have put myself in a little bit of a time crunch. I'm usually in a hurry, so I'm not leisurely like, hey, let's have a whole conversation. But there's been other times where I am leisurely, and I mean, Kaylee and I've been sucked into people's houses for a whole hour before,
Mhm.
so. I do it for any purpose. My main purpose over the last year has been farming a specific area. So rather than using.
Do you guys know what
open
farming is? I don't
houses.
know if they know. Do you guys know what
No,
farming is?
I don't, I think the first time it's
You're gonna
mentioned
talk
is,
about it, okay.
yeah, in our slide deck, so. Well, we'll go into it then.
Love it.
But yeah, that's, I feel like that's your best way for farming, cause you can spend money sending out mailers and other stuff like that, but. If they don't see you.
But face to face,
Yeah.
that relationship for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, especially if they've gotten a couple of mailers from you and then you show up on their doorstep. They're gonna,
And they think they
they're gonna be
already know
like,
ya.
whoa. Well,
Love
they
it.
might be like, you're a little aggressive, and I'm like, yeah, I am, I'll fight for you. Yeah, love it, love it.
But
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, where did your last transaction come from, your most recent? It could be under
Uh,
contract, foreclosed, or active.
Yeah, so it was a referral from a previous client that we have, so her mother.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then where did the hates come from?
School,
Oh,
social media.
okay, yeah, I'm like trying to
That's
remember,
where
because
everyone
they,
is.
well, coincidentally, the house that we are soon to close on with them selling is like
In
two
your
doors
uncle's,
away
yeah.
from my aunt and uncle's house up in Hiram.
Oh.
All places in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I was like, that's weird. The name of the street is Wapiti Loop. You don't forget that.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So besides that one, where's your last transaction came from? Active, under contract, or closed?
Oh, the Higgins. That one was actually a Facebook giveaway. I don't even remember how I was friends with them, but I used to do, I think it was monthly giveaways. And they just had to like tag a friend or tag two friends and tell me something about them, and then I would just add their friend, so that was how I built the database. But that's how it was, and then I'm really big on Facebook birthdays. So you send them on any day other than their birthday, because you're just gonna blend in with everyone else, and you do a personal message to them. Just happy birthday. So our assistant now does it on Sundays. She's like, why are you doing it every day? Like, can't we just batch it? I'm like, yeah, I don't care as long as it's not on their birthday. Because that's what it was. If she won it 4 years ago, and then it's just been happy birthdays. And so just little conversations every year about what she's doing, and she reached out and she's like, hey, what can I sell?
Weird how it works, weird how the system works. Okay, I'm gonna let them start teaching. So, and then if you guys have any questions for them, just ask them. We like interaction for sure.
And I'm usually not this casual, but we had Fun Friday and I have 2 little kids and we went to Thanksgiving Point. And I remembered to leave my car here, but not change clothes, so don't do anything.
Go to that jungle gym? Like,
Yeah, the Jurassic Park one, it's sweet. Have you been there?
a Couple times.
Yeah.
It's
Hey.
Cool.
it's there.
It made me a little sick because have you been on the big slide?
No.
My kids were like obsessed with that, and then just with, I get like really motion sick. And then so with the lights being all dim and all crazy, yeah,
Yeah.
I kept wanting to go, and Sam and I had to keep swapping. We were both getting sick.
You can know
No,
you're not. You're younger than me.
but it's true. Uh-oh. Okay, it worked.
It worked. Okay, so here's where we are in the classes. We're doing capture more leads and keep every lead today. So we're kind of bridging the gap between lead generation and lead follow-up. Wrong direction. Okay, so, and here's our agenda for today for this first section. So we're gonna go over systems that work, prospecting versus marketing, the gold mine of referrals, which is definitely something we can attest to, more sources for business, and then how to capture every lead. Pretty simple. Does anybody want to read our quote? This particular quote.
You love people, but at the same time, you haven't yet learned to love hunting.
Avenues with like Sarah or Orin or
Carice.
that girl.
I'm gonna die if he gets here and watch him not like him. That's what fucking happened to Intel, dude. And then they all leaned on me and I was like, nope.
Melanie.
With Dan and Lou.
Melanie.
Oh, you can?
Hey, remember if you're not paying attention to put yourself on mute.
I don't hear anything.
Doesn't it usually show a little mute thing? Oh,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so I feel like that sounds a little scary.
Who loves hunting for people? I think we're good.
In a fun way.
So I have I'm not gonna tell the story, never mind.
Good job.
I'm learning, it's a
Okay,
long story.
next to electric.
Yes.
Your number one job is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers.
And through this, I want to actually pick apart what you guys did in your previous positions, because I think that that's a gold mine that you can tap into. That and hobbies that you have, just like the sourdough thing. Like I started watching for people, they're like, who's selling sourdough? And I'll add them on social media. So the whole reason is for sourdough, but then I haven't yet made it an actual system yet, but they're going into my database. So they're going to see everything that I'm posting and they're going to get those happy birthdays. So that's another way for me to actually build that and have a little side hustle that I absolutely love doing. So
Yeah.
I think there's a spot where it's more applicable for us to dive into what you guys did previously.
So, these are the two M's of lead generation, message and method. So the very first thing you need to know is your message. This is kind of interesting because a lot of things are gonna be different for each individual person. Number one is matching your market. So the way that I like to think about this is like, what is your audience look like? We touched on it a little bit with with social media. But what's going to appeal to your audience? And then conversely, what audience are you trying to attract? What leads are you trying to attract? What kind of consumer are you trying to attract?
Who uses Chat GPT for anything? It's gonna be your best friend. Something for me, like we've always worked with first and second time buyers for the most part. And I think it's because it's been organically through social media. And so everyone's my age and that's just kind of where they're at in life. And this year I'm actually jumping into higher price points because I sold a few and I'm like, I like these checks a little bit more. And because my social media basically brings in the business that we need to, and now it's kind of a game to try something new. And I've actually used that a lot. Like, hey, what are homeowners that are looking to downsize because their kids have moved out because typically they're in a higher price point? I just have a conversation with that, and then it helps you tailor your message that you're going to be doing.
So along that same lines, when I was picking my open house for this weekend, I actually picked an area that I was farming in and in a price point that I feel like is a bump up from the price point I'm already in that we typically see in our clients. And so my purpose in that is to aim for those slightly higher dollar mark clients in the area that I want.
And it is not just about the commission check. It's just
No.
that our
But,
business is
yeah.
very first time, second buyer area. And so that's why we're upping it. So
Yeah.
like kind of look at who you know and who's in your circle.
Yeah. Exactly. And it, like, the reality is that house may appeal to a wide range of our clients because they've already had their house for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and be ready to move up into that next step up house. So matching your market is really important for your message. The second part of that is making an offer. So we talked about MOFRs yesterday, right? Does everybody remember what MOFR means?
Yeah.
What's first M for?
Okay, does it make offer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
Is anyone sick of acronyms? I remember when I first came over, I'm like, oh my gosh, like they speak in acronyms.
so many. Everything's an acronym. That's Rep C. That's your most important acronym.
Yes.
Because nobody likes to say real estate purchase contract. That's too long. Okay, so make offer for immediate response. So along with your message, you have to keep in mind your market and you need to make an offer. That's how you get engagement. That's how you get somebody to respond. And we'll go over the differences between all of these pieces. So when you're matching your market, you have to think about your target audience and then as market conditions as well. Because it's like if your message is that interest rates are as low as they've ever been, you're going to be flat wrong. They're going to be like, what the heck? There is something to be said about like clickbaity type of stuff where people are going to be like, this person's crazy, but I wouldn't suggest doing that yet. I'm like, there's a little bit of like this nagging culture with some social media, but you want to be the expert, not just a sideshow. So that's something to keep in mind. The next, I'm like, is there?
There's a link.
You can't
There
see it.
was.
No. All right, so when we go back to our second part of the message, direct offer and indirect offer. Do you guys know what a direct offer is versus an indirect offer? I was gonna look up, I totally forgot to refresh myself. I'm like, let me check my notes.
Does anyone have an idea of what a message would look like when you're trying to get someone to respond to you?
I wasn't listening to the question, I was looking.
Oh, just an example of a message that you would send. Over.
Oh, okay, so I've got my notes here. So, so direct versus indirect. So direct would be a message such as call me now or DM me for more information. An indirect offer would be a secondary source, like, hey, reference the secondary source. Go visit my website. Come like my Facebook page. Maybe you should check out this video type of stuff. So the reality is you want a response out of whatever your message is conveying, right?
You guys send messages, it's like, hey, like my business page, and if you do you get a lot of response from that?
I used to, and like 20%, I would say. That was years ago and I've done that.
I've never done it. That's something that I've been considering incorporating into my social media
But with
strategy.
that, I wouldn't say that it's not seen, because my social media, like my Facebook birthdays, you guys will all meet Dalton Clark at some point. He was giving me a hard time because he's like, what do you do? Just send happy birthdays and then they just reach out to you. And I had one, it was like 2 days after he made the comment, 7 years of happy birthday.
Yeah.
She never even like hearted or responded or anything. And then the next message was, hey, I want to sell my house. And then I sent him a screenshot and he gave me a hard time. I'm like, it's the consistency. Basically, the reason you're sending those messages is for them to see your name and then play with the algorithms, because that's how social media is you've got to interact with people through all the ways, liking, commenting, posting, and DMing them. So I still would recommend that you send that message and just not be attached to the outcome.
That's actually part of what.
Am I getting ahead?
Session. Yeah, that's all part of it. It's kind of funny. All right. So the second part of lead generation is the method. So prospecting versus marketing.
What am I really?
You're really good at marketing. So this is another thing. I was like, I was supposed to write something else up here in my notes. Okay. Prospecting versus marketing. Do you guys know what the difference is? Does anybody want to give it a shot?
So I'm going to start throwing what I have back here at it.
Prospecting is out talking to people, and marketing is like flyers and postcards and stuff like that, and social media.
That is a really good.
Pat, you're not here, but I would throw you a surprise.
So we're gonna go into prospecting and marketing a little bit further here. But the essence of prospecting and marketing is making sure that you allocate the proper amount of time to do the actions that you need to be done. So that's why time blocking is super important. You need time to prepare. You need time to actually take the actions necessary. And then what good are the leads if you're not maintaining them? That's a hard lesson to learn when
Implement it now, because it breaks your heart when you see people and you thought you were doing a good job, but you weren't maintaining it like you should be. And then they post, hey, my house is for sale. Or it's even worse when they're like, hey, I just listed my house. Do you have a buyer? What the heck? Like
that one,
they heard.
kind of like,
So get a
Get out of
really
here.
good
You're not my
system
friend
now
anymore.
of anyone that you do add to your database. Make sure that there's like a task assigned to them, and that's a command thing. Whatever your follow-up system is, make sure that you have when you're going to reach out to them and why. So if the initial conversation was they wanted to know when interest rates were going to drop, you had the conversation then, and then let them know in a month from now, like, hey, interest rates are still where it's at, just so then you're acting proactive. And they
Rusty and I lose my AirPod. And so right now I have one AirPod, I don't know where the case or the other one is. If you guys see an AirPod lying around or case, it's potentially mine. And if not, then we'll go on set number 4.
If you go to find
So,
my, what is it, does it show it's in the
You know,
office?
beep, and it said, no, when I looked at it earlier, it said it was at my house, but I was like, I knew it wasn't. And so I found this guy today.
mine go through the washer all the time.
Yeah, so
Same
anyway,
with my
they
car
see
keys.
one
Yeah,
line comes,
all the time.
it's fine,
And they
it's
still
not
work.
uncommon. You will see this from time to time, it's fine. You know what, we're just keeping Apple in business, guys.
I posted a video the first time I put my AirPods in because it was summertime and my car is kind of loud. Dirt place. And the air conditioning was going and I put them in and then all of a sudden my car shut off. I was like feeling it and I was like, wait, I still feel it. What the heck is going on? And then I realized the noise cancellation turned on my headphones. Yeah. I was like, what the heck? Okay. Yeah, so make sure you maintain those leads because it is really, really painful when you've been working with somebody and maybe you only had 2 conversations with them, but you didn't move anything forward. And the next thing you know, they do does anybody want to read this next quote? Volunteer?
Your number one job is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers.
I feel like that's really similar as the other one. It's
This one's just actual
Yes.
buyers.
yes, actual motivated buyers and sellers. So there's many different ways. to do that. Okay, what is
Is that how all the classes are, or just quotes?
am I going the wrong direction? I am going the wrong direction.
So-
Okay.
We just have a lot of quotes and.
So leads are everywhere in very surprising places. What's the most surprising lead you've got? Is there any that just like can stick out to you, like, what the heck? Probably that 7-year one of like,
Mhm.
oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Mine, I just feel is most recently, well, I have two actually from 7-Eleven. So, we have a class called Bold that's a really intensive, workshop. It's like a 7-session
one of the-
workshop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the challenges is 100 conversations
100
in 1 day.
100 conversations in 1 day, which, I mean, and that's not just 100 dials, that's like actual face-to-face conversations with somebody that is related to real estate. So I'm kind of lucky, my family's a couple of 7-Elevens, and so on those days when I'm gonna do a Bold 100, I'll go stand outside at 7-Eleven, I'll buy everybody a drink, which ends up being cheaper because my app and everything, it's like, I'm gonna get all the rewards for this. And then you get a bunch of free drinks and stuff of those drinks, so it's, I don't know, it's a good deal. If you need to
Whatever
go out
drink
and do
they
stuff.
want.
No, a large drink.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let people buy double gulps on my night,
Or like a big Red Bull.
no,
Yeah.
no, it's a fountain drink,
Yeah.
a fountain drink, a coffee or a Slurpee, that's the deal, they get a little coupon.
And that
tells
kind of
them
goes
what
into
they
red
can
light,
and
green
can't
light too, like make
Yeah.
sure that you're following a budget.
do. Yes.
And you do need to make
Mhm.
critiques like that, because you
Yeah.
can really get screwed.
Yeah, oh, yeah, if you're not careful, cause you don't want to be that person that puts limitations on too late and then you piss people off.
Yep.
Whereas I've been in retail long enough to know that you don't change the deal halfway through, 'cause people are gonna be mad. So I actually, for my very first time doing that, cause I've done that 4 times now, I haven't given away drinks every time. Sometimes I just stand in the store and chat with people, which is kind of creepy. I can admit that I'm kind of creepy, but you know,
That's kind of your thing.
I know, yeah. it's
That's pretty messed up. If you're creepy, I don't know what I am.
Fuck people.
When I did my Bold 100, I talked to people as I was grocery shopping with my wife. And every time afterwards, she's like, stop that. You're embarrassing me. Stop talking to people. I'm like, I have to. I have a goal.
Usually it's kind of,
Like our spouses are.
Yeah.
the opposite.
your spouse usually, if you're a real estate agent, your spouse usually tends to be kind of like a quiet homebody, don't talk to people type of person. That's crazy. That's exactly how my husband would be, but
Or your kids.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, depending on how old they would be, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, there she goes.
talk to somebody, but I find
I
it.
need to teach my kids, they're too young to know the difference right now. They're only 2 and 5. so.
Now's the time.
Right
Yeah.
out the gate.
You're so comfortable talking
Yep.
to people.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, and like, I'm always the type of person where like, I'm in line at the grocery store, I see something funny, I'm like, oh, ha, 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 and then I'm like talking to people around me, and sometimes people just give you a weird look. But
You're not like people anyway.
yeah, that's the thing, that's my thought process on it, but you just gotta get comfortable with being awkward, because the reality is like, you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. And you're gonna be more than enough of somebody's cup of tea sometimes. So you just gotta get comfortable with the awkward. But there are leads everywhere. Oh, sorry, long story. I remember why I started talking about that.
I think our classes go over because you.
No, okay, so here's the reality. For my very first one of those, that was like 2 years ago. I have a client who's teeing up right now, who's just barely getting all of her documents in finally to get pre-approved so we can keep going. And she's like, thank you for hanging out so long with me on this and following up and inviting me to things. And honestly, I feel like I dropped the ball a whole bunch on her because I've not followed up as much as I would like to. I haven't actually done a 36 touch with her. And she's
Does
still.
anyone know what a 36 touches?
Yes.
Perfect.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, I still maintained enough with doing our events, inviting her to events that she felt like I was like there for her. When I feel like I probably could have pushed a little bit harder and done a little bit better to support her, and see what her needs were.
Speaking of events, you all know that Keller Williams hosts events.
That's like
Like you guys know everything.
easy peasy, yes,
Yeah.
it makes events easy peasy.
Mhm.
So, that's one that's kind of surprised me, because she just randomly texted me like January 2nd, was like, hey, we're ready. And I'm like, okay, golden. And then another one is, well, I was standing there just this last week, I was doing a buyer and seller seminar, and this guy was like, oh, actually, I am gonna be buying and selling my house, we don't even know where to start. And I was like, great, come to my seminar. They're ready to go. I'm gonna find them an agent to refer them to, because they're moving out of state, so we'll still collect a referral fee from that. I'm gonna go and find an agent that is gonna do the great things that we know they're gonna do, because I'm gonna interview them and send them down to speak to an agent. That's, yeah, it's amazing. I'm gonna make money on both sides, even though I'm not doing the buy side on that one.
What do you look for when you're finding an agent for a referral?
I don't know
So
their Facebook page.
there's.
Cause I wanna make sure that they're
Okay.
similar to me and if they're posting the same content and like they're relatable, I feel like they're gonna take good care of their clients. But you can have like a questionnaire and call them, like, if they pretend like you're a client, if you call them and they don't get back to you for a week, yeah, you don't wanna refer them. But
Yeah,
if they get back to you in a timely manner, because we're all busy, or if they text you and, hey, I'm gonna give you a call back, that's a good sign. And then just have a conversation with them. Hey, I have clients that might be looking, like, even if they are for sure.
Yeah.
Just be kind of casual and be like, hey, what areas do you service? Awesome. Tell me something about you and your business. Like, what makes you different? Why should I hire you or refer you to my client?
it's,
All right.
it's pretty, so I was part of the Women's Council of Realtors, and so I would look for somebody who was a Keller Williams agent and also a member of the Women's Council of Realtors. So I would search both and then see who was crossover and refer it out that way.
There's actually a lot of agents within Keller Williams that only build referral businesses and they don't really do much transactional. So they've got a partner here. So say I was a referral one, I would just send everything to Jesse. And then if I had anything out of state, I would just send them. So I'm not actually in business working. I'm just being the connector. And that's what's awesome about Keller Williams. And on command, you can actually like jump into the different areas. Like, okay, if the people are moving into Salt Lake City, where are they coming from? Oh, they're coming from California. Okay, I need to make connections with these agents. And then it's also another, you need to create, probably not 36 touch, but regular contacts with them to build a relationship with them so that immediately when they're like, oh, you guys are thinking about Utah. Oh, we're going to go to Kaylee and Jesse.
So for instance, a way to make those connections is we're going to Family Reunion, the convention down in Vegas. If I meet somebody that I have a really good connection with in one of the classes, say sit down, we're chatting Happy's the whole time, and it works out really great. I've got a card that I'm gonna give them that has all of my contact information, my social media, and what I'd like to do is a little Utah sticker.
Mhm.
And in my card, it was sweet to meet you. Please be my referral partner. And it'll be like a little Utah beehive or something like that, little sticker so that they'll remember me. They'll probably stick that sticker on something
Mhm.
and then
Especially for
they'll think about me every
true.
time they see that sticker. Should put my contact, I should make custom ones with my contact info on it.
Do you guys make custom newsletters for the monthly newsletters, or do you just use
For our
generic
clients.
ones?
Yes,
For
it's
36
custom.
pages,
Yep.
Yeah, it's custom.
or the 12 of them, I guess.
Yeah, we actually just branched out for ours, so we're technically sending 24 of them because we're breaking out, because we have 4 pages. And you all know our attention span, like you
Yeah.
click it and you're like, oh, cool, okay, and moving on. And so 4 pages we were looking at, we're like, okay, that's too long. So now we're doing it every other week. And then we're really trying to take, because we did have like what our sales were, our upcoming events, and then like a blurb about the market. We are tailoring it to what they actually care about. Because if you're just getting this content, you're like, cool, they sold another house, like that's cool, whatever, they're gonna stop opening it. But of those houses, why does that matter to them? And this is where ChatGPT can come into, like when you're posting or making content, like, okay, this is the post I'm thinking about making. Why is this relevant to home buyers and sellers? And kind of tailoring that. So our assistant's actually working on it right now. And she's like, okay, of all the transactions that you guys have had recently, what are the things that matter? We got 29 grand in closing costs on one of them, 23 grand.
It would have been
When-
29 if I got my way.
Went under contract
crazy.
within 48 hours on another one.
Yeah.
Home warranties were paid, just so then they can relate to it and be like, okay, that's why I care about this newsletter. Is like, okay, when we're looking, like we can get our closing costs paid, because that's a concern of ours. We don't have much money.
Clear to close in 2 weeks.
That was
That was insane. I was like, we're ready? We can't close for a minute.
so yeah, back to your
Monthly,
answer, yes. But we
Right.
send 2 a month.
Yeah, like specific
To
details.
Yep.
that you
Yeah.
guys-
So, but here's the other argument. If that is hard for you to maintain when you don't have
Agreed, 100%.
leverage, sending something is better than not sending anything at all.
Mhm.
So
And consensus.
Yes. consistency. So if you have to send them out automated through whatever system you're using to send them out, the
Which-
auto generated.
Command has design.
Yes. Yeah, designs make it easy. And then neighborhood nurture is another thing that we have in our system that goes out. So if they have their neighborhood in there, it'll send them an email that'll do neighborhood nurture snapshot. You guys all send it to yourself. Do it for yourself so you can.
Does
see
anyone know
they're
what we're
seeing.
talking about?
I do. I
Okay.
set up 2 people. Is it just when, and myself? Is it just when something is bought or sold in that area?
It's
or-
not.
So there's a monthly and a weekly.
Yeah, you guys
So
have
it
to take
depends
the
on the smart
frequency.
plan that you set them up for.
Oh, I don't remember. Okay, I'll have to go look.
I'm trying to- it
And
depends
then
on
that's
the
a
smart
good
plans.
reason to follow up with them too. So that's an initial touch. You can call and ask them and say, hey, this is what we have. Are you interested in it? It just sends you an email about your neighborhood listings. most everyone wants to be nosy and see what that house looks like, because they
Yeah.
drive by it all the time, but they want to see what it looks like inside it.
It'll
And then following
actually
up and
tell
saying,
what
hey,
it's
is
for.
weekly too often for you? I can change it to monthly, or what are you thinking? Are there any houses that you did like? Or any that you surprised, that you were surprised by? And then the other one is, like, are you curious about what your home is worth now that you've seen a few months of the neighborhood? There's lots of follow-up opportunities with that.
Getting back on track. So leads are everywhere. The basics of this are you approach, connect, and ask. So as an example, I'd like to use 7-Eleven. If I stop in at my mom's store, like I just dropped my baby off with my mom who's running the store, was like, here you go. I took an opportunity to chat with people and tell people, oh yeah, I'm teaching a class in real estate agent, yada, yada, yada. Because my mom loves to introduce my baby to everybody. She's like, okay. And it's kind of nice. I get an instant opportunity to chat with somebody, you know? So
Speaking of that, who has kids, who has dogs, or cats? I guess cats.
I got both.
All.
Okay,
I
so
got a cat too.
early on, I have a cat now. I used to hate them, and he's freaking rad. Like we got it.
Yeah.
He's around three big dogs, and so I think he just thinks he's fun. Anyway, get them swag that like they wear, and it says that you're in real estate. I remember I had a pit bull, which people love and hate them, whatever, but she got a lot of attention, and people would ask like, "Oh, what's this bandana?" And then it was so kids
yeah.
can do the same thing, like hats or whatever. But
Yeah. So like say you're at a family party or an event where you're meeting somebody, you can ask them what they do for work. That's
Mhm.
like the number one easiest way to get somebody to ask you what you do for work.
And let them
opportunity to
talk too.
sneak in.
Like, don't make it that that's why you ask, like genuinely care about what they do. And then try to make a connector too, like, oh, like you're a dentist, like my buddy said that he needed dental work or whatever, like try to come with contribution too. And then hopefully, and most people
Yeah.
will interact.
Reciprocate by asking what you do. So yeah, so I mean, you can
Everything
even
like-
have there's opportunities, like say you're sitting in a coffee shop and you hear somebody talk about heading out to an open house. Like this might be awkward, but there's no rule out there in the world that says that you can't walk up and be like, hey, I just heard you were talking about an open house. Are you guys gonna go see an open house right now? Oh, that's great. Or, oh, you and someone, did you like it? Are you guys in the market for a house right now? Like, that's an opportunity. You never know. They may not have a real estate agent in mind. They may not even know where to start. They may just be excited to buy a house. And I think that's actually the first thing most people do is I want to go buy a house. Oh, let's go look at some open houses because we're not ready to commit to anything. So perfect opportunity. That's another reason I think open houses are great. I just had this conversation with my husband today. Open houses are a great opportunity to do. They're all the reasons. Yes. So connect with them and then provide value before you make your ask. So the third step is ask, but provide value with that ask. Like, oh, that's great. I have a list of homes I can send you a list of homes that are doing open houses this weekend. Would you like me to send that to you? Great, let me grab your contact information. So there's opportunities everywhere. Okay, there's any other house.
Do we need to do some jumping jacks?
Ooh, do you guys know what AHA stands for? Agents helping agents. Yes. Another acronym for you. Okay. Prospecting versus marketing. All right. I'll read this one. Lead generation is a contact sport with simple rules. It means making contact with people through prospecting
It's a good pun.
and yeah. So has anybody ever seen this graph before? I mean, you've seen similar graphs, but do you understand what this graph means? So for me, this is kind of like the relevance of what you do typically when it comes to your clients. So we're in high demand and high visibility when they are ready to move. It takes most people about 7 to 10 years. I honestly think it's a little bit less now. I think people move
Because of our price point that we're in. First time home buyer, typically you get into a house, then you start having babies and that grow the house. That's why our timeline is more.
That's
more
true.
6 years.
That's true. I don't know. I feel like I'm still seeing people move more often than that, but
You also came from an insane market.
that's true.
Were you like someone who's like old, they might stay a lot longer in their house.
Yeah, like
until they're ready
like
to
she was just talking about, I've been there for 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mhm.
But I feel like it could be any time because we have clients who bought a house 2 years ago and they're looking to make some different changes in their life and they want to sell again. So Like, you wanna be visible no matter what, but
How many
this-
Ds are there?
D's?
Yeah, the reasons why people move, is that
Four?
4? Do you guys,
Divorce,
Course,
that's the only one I know.
yeah. I can't remember what the other ones stand for.
can't either.
One's like kids. but I
Yeah,
don't know how
but
they
it's a
make
different
that a
word.
B.
Yeah,
And then,
uh, deployment, so moving.
employment. Is there 5?
There's a couple more. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's too many. But there's so many reasons that people move. A
Yeah.
lot of people get hesitant. They're like, oh, the interest rates are high. No one's gonna want to move.
Or
Yes,
like
they
the,
are.
the market is rough, housing prices
Mhm.
are too high, this is something.
All the
we're
limiting
consistently-
beliefs.
Yeah, so actually, there's an argument to be made. Did anybody see, I just posted it recently, I know a lot of agents have posted it, that 74% of agents did not sell a house in 2024. 74% of agents did not sell a house in 2024. Do you wanna know what I think those agents were doing, or why they didn't sell a house? Do you know?
They're more motivated.
We got divorced or died, or, oh no.
No, it's twofold. One, their mindset. They let the news about the NAR lawsuit, which I'm sure you guys have all heard about, take them down and went all panicky, the world is ending. And they let the news about interest rates and the slowdown on the market get into their head, and they quit following up with their people, and they quit posting about it because there wasn't anything super exciting to post about in their head.
And post also goes for communicating too. So
Yeah.
if you're a big phone person, then that would be the same thing. Basically, any way you're getting your material out for conversation.
But the reality is there are people out there that sold 45 or more homes
Mhm.
last year. Do you think those people had a bad year? Probably not. That was probably a pretty good year for them. As
Is everyone
actually,
in here new? Has anyone sold any homes yet? What are your goals for this year?
5 or 6,
5 or 6?
depending on who I talk to. I was 6
So
and then.
she's 12 now. You should be telling us 12.
Was 6, but I guess 5 is more of a round number. So it just depends on who I'm talking to.
State.
We just had a class with Marcus Green. It was our team meeting. And we were talking about like why people set goals, and we really need to connect to why. So I would challenge you to pick for yourself if it's 5 or 6. So that you're not like, yeah, 5 or 6, and not what other people are telling you.
Well, it was 6.
Okay.
'Cause 5 is more of a round number, I guess.
Yeah.
6 makes sense. Yeah, like, so I think it'll take time. Like, I have to do all of this stuff that we keep talking about doing. But I think that it'll grow towards the end of the year. And, you know, obviously starting with 1, but then hopefully I can have more than 1 deal at a time by the end of the year.
Yes.
And that added up to 6 somehow, I think, basically, when I thought about it. I don't know.
There's a bunch of different ways.
It's a lucky number.
Lucky number.
I had a dream and the voice in my dream told me I'm gonna do 6.
Sing in your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone else?
I did 5 because I did the math and I was like, if I do 5, that's as much as I would have gotten if I stayed at my job.
So one of my favorite metrics is they say in your first year of real estate, you should aim to double your income from the previous year.
Oh, that's scary.
It sounds scary. Here's the thing, that a lot of people, it's hard, a lot of people don't believe you, but the reality is like the ceiling is limit. Like, that's the great thing about real estate. You are only limited to how hard you can hustle. And I'm not even kidding about that. Like, there's no salary. There's no stopping what you can do. So although that sounds scary, it's entirely doable. It wasn't my very first year, but my second year, I more than doubled my income.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking my first year, I at least want to try to make as much as I did, but after that, I just want to start making more than my fiance, but she would make like more than double.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I want more than you.
Have you guys done, I'm assuming you have, but have you guys worked the math backwards of like what you want to make and have it? Okay, we need to get that out to you, like the business planning clinic.
Yeah.
So you can work the numbers backwards.
Oh, you
And
should,
it
yeah.
tells you, how many contacts you need to be making. So you go
Oh,
through the conversion rates.
Yeah, okay, so yeah,
Let's get you in touch with them, because then it breaks it down, because then your numbers, you're like, oh yeah, this is how I achieved this. It's not just, oh yeah, I want 5 or 6. It's if I have 20 conversations in a week and then I have this many appointments, my conversion, I'm new, so it's 50% that I'm going to take that listing. And then it breaks it down to how many conversations you need to have. And it's a really cool exercise to do because then it breaks it down to really simple.
It makes it easier to know what your goal should do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
And
then-
then you're not just throwing a number at the wall.
For me,
It's
I've got to
the
gamify things too. So if I need to have, for me, for my goals, I need to have 5 conversations a day, which is super easy on paper, but in real life it is hard. Because then you've got to create the system of who you're reaching out to and everything. But once you get that dialed in, like you're smooth sailing and then you know that you're going to hit that goal. And the more conversations you're having, the better your conversion rates are going to be as well. And then once you get a client, we'll probably touch base on this. I suck at teaching actual material because I want to actually help you guys in your real life. So yeah, just ignore if we don't get through all the slides. But once you get a deal, if you do a damn good job and you get comfortable with asking about business, like it's the most simple thing, like, hey, we're out searching for homes. You're probably going to hear other people because you're talking about homes that might be interested in buying and selling. I'd love for you to share this card with them so that I can help them with their journey too. And you can do that at multiple steps of the way. The time that you're showing your, even from the very first sit down with them, like, hey, your RAS is going to start going because you're looking to buy a house. You might hear other people. Can you pass my information along? Hey, now we're under contract. Now I'm kind of unemployed because like now I don't get to go and look at houses with other people. Can you keep an ear out for me? I always laugh at the ear out because I have a Doberman that his ear is like super and I always post that like, hey, keep an ear out. And then under contract, that's really where you lay out the, hey, I'm kind of like really unemployed because now you're in your house. Like now I don't have anyone to work with. Who do you know? And you never ask, it's who do you
Who
know?
do you know? Never say, do you know? Never ask a question that is a yes or no answer question.
You
Always
want them to
ask,
actually think,
Who
like,
do you
okay,
know?
who?
who,
No,
what,
no,
when,
I don't
where,
know
how,
anyone.
why.
Okay, get back to
Yes.
this.
So I was gonna say just along with that, I like saying, I really enjoyed working with you. I want to connect with more people like you.
Mhm.
Stroke the ego a little bit. And then say, who do you know that I would work, that would, there's all different ways you can say it. Who do you know that would work great with us as well? So, yeah, so basically, you want to make sure that you're here whenever this next move peak happens. And that's the importance of staying in
Which is the
contact.
plug for 36 steps.
Yes. So, oh, well, yes.
Am I
36
getting ahead again?
I think you might be.
Sorry.
We're not moving fast enough. Okay. So prospecting versus marketing. So Keller Williams is all about the triangle.
Mhm.
Not everything's a triangle, but the reason that we use triangles so much is because you always have to have a foundation. A triangle has a strong right foundation. So the foundation of your business should always be prospecting. Marketing should not be left out because marketing is kind of like the seasoning on top of everything. Marketing is going to bring you potentially long-term success. But for immediate results, prospecting should be the basis of your business. So we talked about the difference between prospecting and marketing. Prospecting is time intensive, it's proactive and shows immediate results. Whereas marketing is a long-term, it's passive, not proactive and money intensive.
I
So-
disagree with money intensive, by the way.
Yeah, Kaylee does. It could go either way. I think, and this is why.
Yeah,
when we
that
say
seems like
rhythmic,
money intensive down to the prospecting.
Prospecting is more like cold calling or having the conversation. So you don't necessarily need money to do that.
So
Good.
here's the way I think about it. I like to think about it as prospecting as you're mining for gold. You're out there digging, you're asking questions, you're getting to talk to people, you're meeting people, you're doing the hard physical labor. Marketing is kind of like fishing. You're throwing a line out there and waiting to see if anybody bites. Does that make sense? So like, you're holding still, you're not doing anything, you're not actively making anything happen with marketing. You put a little bait on the hook and you're like, come over here. Whereas prospecting is, I'm coming to you. I'm gonna dig some answers out of you. I'm gonna
Door knocking,
I'm gonna,
calling.
yes, yep,
And doing the bold 100s.
yeah,
Anything that's getting you out there and forcing you to have conversations with people.
exactly.
Where like a Facebook post would be, you're just throwing it out there to see what happens.
Precisely. So here's examples of prospecting. So phone or face to face. So listings without agencies. Everybody knows what FSBOs are, right? Here are a whole bunch. For sale by owners and expired listings. Do you guys know how to get this information?
MLS.
The MLS is helpful if you're going to be door knocking or if you're going to be sending out mailers. If you need contact information, there's a bunch of different ways to find contact information. For expired listings, it's tough. That's where you wanna be TCPA friendly and, well, usually get them through title, don't they? To contact information through title or you
What,
can
on
on
Facebook.
What,
or you can-
what did you say, what, friendly?
Oh, TCPA friendly.
Do not call.
Yeah, do not call us. I'm like telecommunication protection, consumer protection act. I don't know. Yes, something like that. I'm like, I should know. Just don't call anybody that doesn't want you to call them. That's on the, and then that's on the do not call list. For sale by owners is a little bit tougher. So there's a couple of different ways. We actually have a friend who just does, he's absolutely killing it on for sale by owners. And it's kind of interesting to hear his philosophy on it is when you're talking to a for sale by owner, you don't know them. It's some cold calling. You could be anyone. So he walks in and he is this amazing real estate agent. Like from the get-go, that's his mindset. These people don't know me from Adam. I am whoever I want to be to them. And he was
And whoever
amazing.
they need.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. So it gave him the confidence and he's cleaning up right now. I'm pretty proud of him. He's his name's Matt. Okay. So for sale by owners, there's different ways to find for sale by owners, like Zillow, KSL, people post their stuff for sale on there. Facebook Marketplace.
You totally do well.
Oh, yeah. Or driving by,
Mhm.
because I'm sure everybody's at some point or another seen a for sale by owner sign in the front yard.
And it's bizarre how many for sale by owners think that's all they need to do. Like, they don't even put it on KSL, because I've tried to like cross check it, I'm like, oh, here's the address, and I try to find it on KSL. I'd probably say like 70% of them don't put it on KSL either.
Which is crazy to me because like
Which is
that's your
huge
number one
Utah.
place for selling stuff that you cross can sell. Yeah. Circle prospecting. So hitting certain neighborhoods, apartment complexes, recently sold listings. So that's great. If you have somebody, if there's a recently sold listing in an area that you want to be in, reach out to the agent first and make sure that it's okay that you use their use their photos. But an opportunity is if you could go around and say, oh yeah, this house down the street sold for X amount. Would you like to know how much your house is worth? Get your
So
foot-
for example, our Hiram one, it sold we had an offer within 24 hours, went under contract 48 hours. That's a great opportunity for us to go and say, hey, we officially sold. This is where we were at. Have you ever considered selling your house? Do you know what your house is worth? And then you're just asking different questions. You kind of fill out how the conversation goes. And then you can follow up with whatever information you can get your foot in with.
Recently listed properties, that's another opportunity. So holding an open house for somebody else, that gives you an opportunity to say, hey, the house down the street just went for sale. Do you know what your house is worth? Community outreach, so charity or volunteer work, getting involved in, like other things. Charity and volunteer work is really great. I kind of like networking events, stuff like that. I kind of lump those all together. Like any opportunity you have to make your hobbies a way to talk to people. Like that's where it goes back to like leads are everywhere.
So I'm doing a Galentine's event tomorrow, and I opened it up this year to everyone on Facebook. Did not post my address on there. They have to message me to get on there. But it's super fun because a lot of my friends are bringing their moms. And so now I'll be able to add them to my database, and then it's getting me into that higher price point too. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then because of the sourdough thing, a friend and I are going to do like a baking and jam canning class too. And so same thing, I'm going to try to get into conversations with those people. So that's what I mean, like lean into your strengths and like what you like to do. Like if you have a dog and you like to go to the dog park, like some swag on your dog and wear a KW hoodie and whatever, like so you can have that conversation with them. Compliment their dog for being really good, and then hey, what do you do for work? And then it leads into that conversation.
They'd be like, oh, it probably doesn't tear your couch up like mine does while I'm at work. Then they're like, oh, where do you work?
Yep.
Find a way. Conversation.
I know you mentioned that you were selling sourdough. Are you selling just bread or like starter as well?
Starters too.
Okay, because I was gonna say if you aren't, you should, and
Yeah.
then you should do like YouTube and just like teach people how to like do the whole thing.
So school is the thing, SKOOL. Like you basically record a video and put it on there, and then like you can pay or do free classes and stuff. Yeah, so that's a whole new thing. I feel like 2 weeks ago I just started, hey, does anyone want this? And then
Yeah.
everyone's going crazy. I even feel like it's
can't eat all this and bake it too much. You can't eat it all.
No, I can't.
Can't get
Freezer's
away
like
at
full
a
of
point,
rice.
yeah.
I want to try this one, but like I put this in the freezer and
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think you should do like with that. If when you start selling the sourdough, you should even do like a little card that you attach to it, like here's the link on how to keep.
My brain is like going wild. Yeah. Yep.
That's her.
That's have it on
happening
our
right now.
Utah page.
Yeah. Yeah, just,
Hey, plug it in there.
you can make sourdough when you're new home.
And really, the only reason I bring that up is that,
First home buyers and like, here.
which I have done that. At Christmas time, I gave a starter because she talked about it, and then a loaf of bread too. I think that was like the first loaf of bread that I ever gave.
Yeah.
But anyway, think about your strengths
Yes.
and the things you like and really
Hobbies.
lean into those.
Like, this is the best thing and worst thing about real estate is like, you are always working,
Yeah.
but when you're doing fun stuff, you're also working and you do fun stuff that is working.
Mm-hmm. And all right.
Yeah.
Really.
So like going out and doing a fun networking event and having fun, just going out, being around people, still technically working if you get some opportunities to talk about work there, so. Teaching and speaking, so if you become a local expert or an expert on something, there's opportunities there.
Which
like
we've done
that.
seminars.
Yep, or even doing home buyer and home seller seminars, which.
And then we're doing a home maintenance seminar in March. Again, to kind of target the people that already own. So then it's a sell and then a buy, because our team is structured. She gets 95% of the buyers and then I get the listings. And so that was another reason to do the home maintenance, is then they already own a home. And then it's a double whammy for both of us.
And do you just do these seminars in your house?
Nope, so we, Nook and Cranny, home inspections, they actually have a space that we use. We might try out there too. We're kind of
Yeah.
playing around with the times and dates and locations that work best. But that's where our first one was at Nook and Cranny, which is in
Well,
Pleasant View.
I did 2 online.
That's true.
Sucked.
I feel like online's hard.
So I was actually thinking today in the shower, that's where I do all my best thinking. I was thinking about this and listening to, somebody else actually teach this class. Super pressure of how somebody else is gonna teach it. And they were talking, totally lost what I was.
The seminars.
Seminars, oh yes.
Well, online.
Oh, yeah. So I was just thinking about conversion rates, and my conversion rate for listings virtually sucks.
Mhm.
If I get physically in the house.
Yep.
I've only lost one where I physically got in the house, and it was because they didn't realize they had a lien on the house that would eat up all of their equity. But I brought them to them, and they had no idea. I provided value and I continually followed up with them. So when they've,
And
and
is
it's not and ending move on, I'm very confident they're.
And because she did a great job, that's also a referral source now.
Yeah.
And now those people had a good experience, even though they can't sell, but she was the one that was like, hey, like, probably shouldn't sell because you have no equity, in a nice way. And so now people are gonna trust her and refer her.
Oh, yeah, because if you're gonna, like, that's people's biggest fear is that you're gonna somehow trick them or force them into doing something they don't wanna do. So if you can be as honest about that, not having commission breath is
The longevity of your business.
yeah, that's how you earn their trust. Meals, door-to-door canvassing, networking events, booths and kiosks. I love booths and kiosks, but don't spend money
Mhm.
unless you have money to spend that's budgeted to your marketing and your business plan. Yeah. Next thing is marketing.
We were just talking about the spending thing. For the first 7 or 8 years, I didn't spend anything other than like referral thank yous and clothing gifts. So you really can build a massive business by not spending.
So the way to do that, an easy way to do that is actually tapping into the office. There are some events in the office that you do have to pay for, but you're paying $50 to get everybody you know. And in a lot of cases, so.
And with a small database, they don't realize that half those clients are not yours. They're just like, oh damn, like they're a big deal. Like they have this whole room, like we have Donuts with Santa here and it is packed. And they don't realize that those are your clients. Because they don't know who the agents are or whatever. So it makes you look really, really good.
Question about the events. You said typically they're like $50 if you, for everybody, you know, are
Yeah.
some of
Yeah,
those
like
person?
it depends.
It's a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's like $75 an agent now.
$100 to $150.
Oh.
We're still working out the budgets just because everything is getting more expensive, but that is minimal.
So
Like,
like,
really think about it, because if you invite people and get one referral from that, it way more like it's so worth it.
it is.
What was I trying to say?
Don't spend money into it.
No, just that it's way worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Of benefits
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, your bang for your buck is
Mhm.
way better on events than it is for like
The next one.
paying for ads.
April 12th, it's the Easter egg hunt. Super fun.
Oh my
um,
gosh, and it's packed.
It's
And
good.
you know what?
No, it's what is the Lloyd Lake in West Point. Yep.
It's kind of funny. We set up the first year that I helped with it in West.
South Park.
Yes,
We set up our booth just in, I guess, the optimal position. We had a bunch of people coming and getting stuff from us that weren't even our clients. They were.
you gotta like,
Yeah,
in the right spot.
yeah. It was just kind of funny. We've had, when you know, tell your clients to come find you. Make sure you tell them to come
And
find you.
we,
It is a little tricky to find on Google Maps stuff.
that's good to know then.
Yeah,
That's
Put
good enough
Fiddler
for
Cross
marketing.
out there many,
Oh.
many times.
so maybe we send out a link.
I feel like I need to teach an events class with the touches too. I think Alex
Yeah.
taught one like years and years ago. But we
Well,
gotta,
So what we've created oh, that's me this year. That's what it was. She asked me to do.
so we
I'll
have
be
to
creating our
remember
store
that
plans
it's
for all
not
our
just a
events.
client showing up.
Yeah.
It's the excuse to call them and see how they're doing. Hey, do you guys have plans on the 12th? Hey, bring the kids out to this. And just have the conversation with them. It's
By the
an
way,
excuse.
it's a little tricky to get there, but.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You
you can say
Check
that.
it out.
And then social media content too. Like, you can post 50 times just for that.
We are supposed to be moving on to the next section.
So what else can we go through?
Okay.
You guys have all of this in
Oh,
your
yeah.
books, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so
marketing,
you guys
so
can go through all of the different ways to do that. Do you have any specific questions on any of those?
Maybe all of them,
um,
but it's okay.
yeah,
They already
We'll have a
told me,
follow-up call.
they already told me this is like a bird's eye view of like everything.
Yes.
And there's not, it
Yeah.
doesn't really get specific, which is, that's all
I
right.
feel like we get too specific sometimes.
And we just had the conversation today. I feel like every business should have 4 legs, just like a table. For us, social media is huge. So if social media was gone, we would topple over quickly. And so you should get into, like, pick out the 4 that seem the most interesting, break out a game plan of what you want to do. Hit one really heavy so that you know that you're focusing and executing that fully, but make sure you're doing some touches in the other areas too. So if you're gonna hit door knocking, make sure you're posting pictures and getting it out there so that they know what you're doing and
And then-
providing value that way.
Have a strategy, have
Yeah.
a game plan for prepping, like, are you gonna do a handout? Have your handout ready to go and printed by the time that you have your time block for your door knocking?
And follow up. Don't
Yes.
just door knock one neighborhood just for the open house. Like, be very strategic with your open houses and try to get every open house in that neighborhood. So then you're showing up multiple times, but it's not for the same thing. It's, oh, hey, I have another open house that I'm holding. Oh, another one. And so they're like,
Who are you?
Yeah.
Become the neighborhood expert. So you guys know what farming is, right? Have we talked about farming yet?
No.
Well, that's part of what we're talking about here. So farming is linked usually to either a geographic location or a demographic. So here's the thing. We will work pretty much anywhere. We'll go almost anywhere in Utah. Your license gives you the opportunity to go anywhere in Utah. 1, probably don't want to drive there. 2, are you serving your clients best by looking into and helping them buy or sell and market your home? Probably not. You may be technically you're not fulfilling your fiduciary duty because that's may not be in their best interest. So
but you easily can look up the
Yes.
stats too.
exactly, that's true.
Especially
I don't
new
necessarily
business.
discourage you. But just be cognizant of that. You don't just go out, look up comps and then throw a house on the market. You should know what's going on in that area. But farming is a way to grow your notoriety in a specific area. So for instance, I'm working on farming my neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhoods in my area. So I've got like 5 different developments that I'm specifically targeting when I'm doing, if I'm gonna do mailers, if I'm gonna do an open house, I wanna be in this specific area because it's really close to my house, means less travel for me, and it means I'm a local market expert. I'm on all of the Facebook pages in the area, not just as a real estate agent, but as like a regular concerned citizen. And it gives me a lot of opportunity to market with purpose, if that makes sense. So another way is demographic. So for instance, who here has been in the military? Both of you guys. So you guys actually have a killer opportunity because how many people do you know all across the United States and potentially across the world? Probably a lot. Probably a lot, right? We have Hill Air Force Base right here. Is that what brought you here? Or
No.
you live here? You just happen to live here?
I was in the
Family?
Marine Corps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
I
thing.
didn't know about Hill. I would have tried to get a job in like logistics or something and moved here
If you
for sure, if I would have known. It's not a high demand, no one's putting it on their dream sheet.
So now that's a good thing. If you would have known about it. So who else needs to know about Hill? Get out there and have the conversation with those people.
Go to like Hawaii or Japan
That's
and stuff.
expensive though.
Yeah.
They pay you more.
Go together and try to.
What are you, you're saying encourage, I mean, Utah is really cool, the mountains, the,
Speakers, why you love being here, and maybe that's gonna speak to someone else.
So there's
it
like,
used
you
to be a
not
lot
be.
cheaper,
Yeah.
and now I have these kids here.
that's an example of a demographic though. So like,
Yeah,
parents is a demographic. People getting married is a demographic. People that are getting married are probably gonna need a house soon. Like,
Or
you know what I
should.
mean? Or should,
And you need
yeah.
to be telling the story as to
Yeah.
why they.
So, part of farming and using that type of storytelling for your marketing and all these kinds of things. Yeah.
All of those.
Events, yeah, we did, we talked on all of it. Allied resources, so that's like your team, lender, title, roofer, inspector, plumber, carpet, like painting,
Anything
handyman,
house related, and not even
Yeah.
house related, it can be anything.
yeah, car detailing. What other types of services are there out there? If you have a hair person, it's amazing. You love your hair person. But if you can become a connector between all of these different industries, they will then start connecting you with clients and people that need your services. So allied resources is big.
Do you have advice on that? So, like, I think I want to niche on like first time home buyers and like investments for like real estate. Like I work with a lender, and then I was introduced to a lender who specialized in investment property, like loans and such. If I don't feel comfortable going up and doing a seminar, let's say right now, is there like a decent playbook to work with a lender to do that, or?
For, as far as doing a seminar?
Yeah, to do a seminar.
I would lean into that lender.
Yeah, I mean,
Meet
it's
with
one
them,
hard.
put together some criteria where they kind of carry most of it, but then you can put your plug in there too and just answer some of the questions in there. And the more you do it, the more you're gonna get comfortable, because then you're gonna be learning as he's teaching. Or they.
YouTube too. Get on YouTube. Learn, there's so much to learn from YouTube. Like I said, Graham Stephan. I just talked about him yesterday. Graham Stephan's my man. I love him. Get on YouTube and learn. Another thing I just want to say about that. First time home buyers and investment properties are very different markets and very different people.
Mhm.
So you have to be really cognizant of your marketing, like what you're gonna, first time home buyers, grants, loan programs, affordable housing, what's reasonable to expect in your first home, things like that are gonna appeal to them. Killer deals on certain investment property types.
And off
learning
market.
how to, yeah, and
Which
off
you would
market.
get from door knocking.
Yes, door knocking or making connections with people like handymen or other people that deal meth mold radon.
Mhm.
People that are getting out of a situation that the house is in distress because of something like that. There's opportunity there. But you gotta think about that when you're doing your marketing. Who am I reaching out to? Because if you're only you're gonna have to be specific and purposeful when you're thinking about your marketing. And your purpose for reaching out to people.
How long does our class go to?
7:30. 7:30, yes. Yeah, that's why I'm like, we're halfway, so we gotta move on to our next one. Okay, prospecting and marketing. Oh, do have any ahas? Agents helping agents.
We'll have some ahas.
Yeah,
That was
lots.
Okay. Cool. I'm like, I'm always.
We need to share
hungry.
some.
Yeah,
I've got 100 grand up here for anyone that share some
are you scared to talk?
Really?
Because this
No
is
one-
like,
There's- there's
you
so
just
many
wanna get
different
over
ways
your
to
real estate
prospect.
agents Now,
I can't believe how many ways to
Narrow it down
prospect there are.
to 6, then really start thinking about them, and then narrow it down to 4. And then be like, okay, which one do you think is gonna be the most fun for me?
and then.
And focus on that one.
That's actually really good
Stick to it.
advice. Instead of
Stick to
doing
it.
all of those lists.
Get Overwhelmed, and that's the thing about Keller Williams too,
Yeah.
is like, holy shit, there's so much to learn.
I really want to do a presentation.
It's a lot of people
There's a
will-
police station right near my house, and I want to go
and
talk to them
then
because
it
I'm
comes to
sure
fruition After a month, and they think.
they have
this
a
doesn't
room. I'm
work.
sure they're always
Yeah.
meeting for stuff anyway. They could get paid to be there. And there's great grants if they buy in Ogden. That's just where I live.
Yeah, especially if they're first time home.
So, well,
The Ogden program.
yeah,
You know about that one.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a first time home buyer. That's what I was just looking at it. Yeah, it's just,
It might have changed.
but it's tricky because you kind of need a big down payment because,
It's because I did classes.
I think that's what it is.
I
It's like
didn't plug in, I didn't, all my spirit, I didn't do any kind of lead generation. I would just thought.
Income
oh,
requirements
state agent.
make the payments
So
weird,
somebody
like
that's not
for
certified
being
by
able to
it,
afford
but
the
it's-
house just with your
that means it's
income.
like-
So you don't have money saved up and then they kind of
stuff.
add to it
No,
or find it
And
in
that's-
the house.
yeah, and that's what we have to get out there and tell the story of like why. they
Yes.
took the home.
Yeah.
And like for me, I have a great story. So I did use the own and Ogden with my very first home, and then I sold that and bought a little bit bigger of a home, and then just kept moving up. So if I was out there telling the story, then people are like, oh, like I should take a step and get into a not perfect home. It's really hard because especially like my generation, we have parents that I only lived in 2 houses growing up.
So you know what?
And the only reason we moved was, which is, I know military, so like, it's different, but
Oh,
Yeah. I would-
we think that we are gonna step into a home that's
So,
forever.
you know what's the
We're
thing
not
is
in that market that we can, we haven't been in that market for
Your
probably.
contract. is
8 to
the
10 years.
for
So
the
we need to
inside
Right.
the process,
Bring down the
your contract.
expectation of,
And then
hey, this is why you wanna step into this home. Hey,
Some of those
are you
things,
handy?
it's-
Can you update something
You have to
like
have
as
the
you are
experience.
living?
There's a lot of experience.
Who's been ready?
You have
You
to
don't
go
you don't
through.
have the Pinterest board,
Yeah.
you like what you're
No, I
seeing.
agree.
But
Well, and
here
then
is,
this
here's the Pinterest board of how we
change.
can change this. Buyers have a really hard time imagining things.
Because you'll learn
And if
from
they
other
see
people's
a room that
experiences
is pink and blue
about
and
what they're
yellow,
going
they think it's $10,000 to fix.
Like that's.
Like that's just how buyers' minds are. So if you can
Because
show them that paint is only
that's-
maybe
that's the-
$200
they're
and they can do it themselves to make
Like,
it look
not
nice.
to say don't hold your feet to the fire.
It's crazy. Like, there was like a little niche in a house.
But
that, like,
having
like
somebody
this
that do
and
kind of
this,
look
and
at
she
how
was like
They
so
they
blown away.
practice, they do a bunch
What
of
would you
like,
do with that? And I'm like,
team events,
this is just
prospecting, like ideas.
cause it like.
Like,
So
It's a
be
workshop.
the one to like imagine with them. Because buyers always, especially for some buyers, they don't have that.
No, I definitely feel you.
And they think that
The first time I wrote a
my
contract. I
funniest
didn't even
inspection
contact
was,
anybody.
you know, how
Williams, my
it
first
happens to both
real
people, or
friend
it's just a
that-
rent.
and
Sure.
She
communicator.
panicked, of all the things on this inspection.
I actually called up a fellow realtor who was trying to get me rent.
And I'm like, can you give her a
And
rent?
it's like, how do I fill out
that?
a
Okay, we'll go to Home Depot.
Really?
$5 fee. And you just literally like this, and I like tightened it with my fingers.
Wow, he's helping you.
I'm like,
But
you
you
see the
you
stress
call
level off
me,
of her, like
you,
you,
Haley.
we are
I'll
that
see you,
person
call.
for them.
Tim will help.
And
you
it
call.
is hard if you haven't owned several homes and done a lot of
Yeah.
inspections, but get in touch with an inspector and go through a lot of.
I'm not even sure.
So then, when you're walking through a home, you can kind of point these things out and you're like, you know what you're doing.
So.
Like you can fake it till you make it, just because you don't have transactions under your belt doesn't mean anything, like lean into those home inspection reports and talk to your inspectors and like, hey, what are things that I really should watch out for? And like, it's the silliest thing, when you walk over to like a furnace or a water heater and you're like getting down and you look and the date is right on it, but people read it and you're like, oh, this is from 2008. The average lifespan is 7 to 10 years. They think you're freaking genius. Like, it's just those little things that they like really start building trust with you. It's so nice. Like, I don't know. I love when first time home buyers are like, they have a special place in my heart just because they like, maybe it's because they trust you and they don't question you and you're like.
It's nice because you can
like,
actually guide them through without them fighting back about anything.
their parents suck though.
Yes.
Like, it is so hard when, be prepared and you should
Buyer's
probably
dad
somehow.
equals still killer.
Yes. And you should probably be prepared and be like, hey, so is there anyone else in the decision process? Just so that you kind of know and you can prepare, so that you're not slapping your face when dad shows up and he's trying to kill you. Deal.
I was helping another agent who's out of town and showing a house for her with her buyers, and the dad comes in, and that's how you know somebody's been on the internet and thinks they know everything. And this will happen to you because it's happened to me so many times. They come in, and this is the window, and they put their hand around the edges of the window, feeling for a leak around the window. You know how you fix a leak around a window?
Call to see.
But people don't know that.
So simple. And like, even if there is a big leak, you gotta get a window person in, and a window person can fix it. The whole house isn't gonna fall down because there's a drafty window.
But we're
You
the
know what I
problem
mean?
solvers. even
Yeah,
with
but
little things.
they don't realize that. Like, oh, easy fix, I've got a window guy, he can come in and seal it for you. You don't even have to do it. Like, I got a guy.
Mhm.
So, like, there's just come in.
Even if that guy is.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's opportunity everywhere. So we're like, we're not all the way through here, more sources.
They just said they've got lots of nuggets, so I think we're okay.
Okay,
We're okay. We can end now and they'd be good.
no, I get you
Just
guys.
kidding.
from the-
Client referrals, this is my favorite thing.
Yes, so.
You said something about giving out candy, I think is.
Oh, I did. Did you share it? You did.
There were
Yep,
so
yep,
many.
yep. Okay,
Yes.
anyone else?
Missed you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm a very big.
I like, the information is really good and learning all of that, but I like your little stories that you guys have, the
Yeah.
experience.
I told you.
It's much more helpful.
Are we the only ones?
And he helped to remember.
Do it better,
Okay.
more. It's everybody.
We loved it. I loved it.
I feel like the only complaint about our classes is that we
They
don't
go over
complete all of
We have all of this, like, we have the slides.
So,
Yeah.
so we don't need to go through that.
Going through it, what it says,
What we do.
but yes, saying how that applies to something is much more helpful.
Prefer not.
Yeah, that was terrible. Any other hot?
Like, I know. Well, and that's the thing is like.
Candy work.
Candy works, especially 100 grands. Those
Yeah.
are, it's like creative, because you think, oh, 100 grand.
I had stopped to get a rotisserie chicken and I'm like carrying the thing and it's like super hot and I'm on the phone with her.
Yeah.
And then I like had to set it down to find these. 'Cause I couldn't find them. They were like tucked in the back. And then I couldn't find my chicken. I was sitting down. Over here probably melted some chocolate. And then I'm like over here, and I had to like get down here like because I didn't want the huge ones. I'm like, I have too much sugar this late. Anyway, okay. Go.
Right.
Was
True.
my aha was thinking about a goal, like, how many transactions I wanna have this year, you know? That I hadn't really thought about that, you know, really, you know, and I hadn't really been kind of questioned in that way, you know? So it was good,
If you don't have
Yeah.
goals, what do you
Yeah.
have?
yeah, oh, I know, I like that one, yeah,
And
that's,
those that I set those goals and then I just kind of do my thing. I don't ever track them and come back to them. But the science behind it is if you start tracking it, then it's a game and you have a lot of fun because you're like, holy shit, like I did have X amount of conversations and I did get the one deal. And then you're like addicted to it and you keep wanting to do it.
Your first big check, you get like $5,000 dumped into your
And
all at once. That feels
you
so
all-
good.
the average commission right now is 12 grand. I remember when I got in and it was like 3 grand. So you guys are left.
It's awesome. I'm just saying, it's awesome.
Like I know the cost of living is a little bit more than 13 years ago, but it's so fun to get that.
What is your biggest commission?
My biggest 19.
19? Let me say mine was 12. Like, there's something, then it's like a desert, a drought in between those. But it's really.
That's
it's
a whole
hard to
other thing is
predict
how
it,
to
yeah.
manage your money.
Yeah, manage it.
I'll be fine.
Yes.
Anyone else?
For every dollar.
and just to specify, I have been asked like, what are your goals, you know,
Yeah,
what are
yeah.
your goals, but what does that mean? What are your goals, you know?
Yeah.
Really, how many transactions do you want?
Good or.
Good is,
I'm
you know,
completely
like
for
relative.
to be realistic,
Yeah.
because if
It's-
I have to meet it. Like,
It's completely.
Yeah.
I
relative.
cannot say
Yeah.
like, if I say 5 and I eat 4, I'll be like, I'm not done. And it's
Well, and that's
December
why
31st,
I really
you know?
want to do the exercise of like breaking it down with
Oh,
you
it's
guys because it's
Yes.
it is.
It's like.
Do it.
I get so upset every time I do it. It's so
Well,
easy.
okay,
It's working.
Tie into what we're doing. I'll tie it into our next.
These are the
I
things
have a-
I need, because, you know, this is all brand new.
Yeah.
So I'm just like wanting to know, how do you guys feel? How do you get where you are today?
Yeah.
When you were in my spot, when
Consistent.
you didn't know anything. you know?
Yeah, no, partnering with an experienced agent that knows what they're doing, cause like
I
I
think
had.
that excelled your
Yeah.
business like crazy.
Oh, like yeah, coming to classes. Like, even if you don't end up partnering specifically with an agent, coming to classes, learning, listening to what people say, listening to people's stories.
I feel like I was that person. I was like, I'll never be on a team. I can only do it myself. I can do it better than me. And then I came over to Keller Williams and we are huge on not just teams, but leverage and doing what you want to do. And it's hard to think this when you're in the very, very beginning, but partnering up with people. And the thing that I love about our office is we're very open book. Like you guys, any one of you can call me and I will tell you whatever you want to do. Like we're all
Yeah.
here to help. It's not like, oh, well, I do social media this way. Like, I'm not gonna tell you how to do it.
There's
Like,
a lot of gatekeepers in this industry, and that's not the mindset here at Keller Williams. If you find a gold mine, share it. 'Cause people
Yeah.
can share their gold.
And because it's going to be different, like what you post on social media is gonna totally be different than mine.
Yeah.
Like,
And my friends are different than yours.
Yes,
Oh,
So it's not like
100%.
people that are not
You know, customers no matter what.
but not everyone
We're
has that
singing
mindset,
care.
and it breaks my heart that they do.
That, I was just literally just, yeah,
Yeah,
And people are too sour. about
secret keepers.
I like that.
Okay, so you guys need to tell us, how did you get to where you are from point zero?
Consistency with whatever you do. Because I have noticed, so I ran a marathon with it 2 summers ago. I think it was 2 summers ago. I don't know. Time flies. Yeah. 'Cause
No.
Last year I
2023?
didn't run. Last year I started out the year good. Anyway, 2 years ago. Yeah, it was right after I had Izzy. Anyway, so all my life was about was running. And so that's all I was posting about. And then I saw the roller coaster of business and I was like, why is my business dropping? And I'm like, oh shit. And I look back on social media and all I was posting was what I was eating and when I was running and how far I ran that day. Like you need to be consistent with real estate stuff. And I don't even know the percentage. I naturally am good at social media. So people are like, well, how many of this and how many of this do I want to post?
I would say on average, you post 5 to 10 stories a day.
Yes.
But, and mostly real estate.
So, no,
Most of the market is
yeah, like
80%, that's what they were saying the one yesterday, 80-20.
Well, like even if she doesn't have time to post it right then,
yes.
she'll still take the picture and then she'll batch do some stuff later.
So I had a friend that she like went to Mexico and then came back and she posted something on it about being in Mexico. And I'm like, girl, you're home. Like, why are you posting that? She's like, well, I'm on vacation. I'm not going to post that. And I'm like, holy shit, like that's true for safety reasons too. Like you don't want to post that you're out of your house. But people, it doesn't matter when you post.
So you just post whatever is going on in
Okay,
your life?
so on my stories, like, so I'm doing the Galentine's tomorrow, we're making sugar scrubs. So I posted that, like, everyone's invited, 10 a.m. tomorrow. Sourdough, like most of mine. Oh, is that all I have right now? So yeah, I'm a little
Time to
tired.
add
Yeah.
some on there.
So, oh,
Do us-
okay, cinnamon rolls this
Yeah.
morning, like, it's just things
Can I
that are
add
relatable.
something?
I usually post cinnamon roll Sunday, and do people eat it up? And they always are like, oh, it's Sunday, like, I saw your cinnamon rolls, and then people here at the office, or anyone that I see, it's things that are relatable to people, just like normal people, not.
So
just
like that's like the 80-20 on your personal stuff.
Yeah.
80% personal, 20% real estate.
And then this one's funny. I already told you guys about my chicken. So after this class, I'm gonna post a picture of my chicken and then
Eating it in the
a
car.
picture of me eating the chicken. Like, 'cause it's funny.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that because I'm here teaching a class. I'll take a picture with her after this and like tell that we taught a
Tell
class.
our story.
Can I add something?
Think like
And your
10
track
of
is
those
not-
a day.
that's business.
I wouldn't stress about it. Okay? You
So-
just want to be consistent with whatever you're
When it-
doing.
When it comes to my car stuff, I use an app called Mile IQ. Kaylee does it different. Kaylee takes every mile on her car.
Because I have multiple vehicles that I can claim. And so that's my real estate part.
Yeah.
And I had a tax person tell me once that even if you're going to Walmart, like you're driving by a house that is for sale, that maybe you have a buyer for. So that's why I do it that way. And it's just easier because I am looking along everything. I'm
Guess
very
I
all
just
over.
spent 2 hours
Different.
2 weeks ago to
Mhm.
get all their mileage locked. And could not remember back in March of last year what that drive was for.
I'm trying to think. So like yesterday's
that.
post,
Keep track of your miles. But
so I took my kids to iFly and then I had a meeting with Tim, so I posted about that. And then I posted walking from my office to our closing office. So it's like personal things, but it's just what I'm doing. And I'm really good at like storytelling too, like what I'm doing through the day. Like I didn't realize that that's what I was good at. So I was like, yeah, you're really good at that. Okay. But I think the main reason is main thing is you want to be posting that's relatable. So like now everyone's going to think about sourdough when they see me, or when they see sourdough, think of me. And that's what I want. Like I had a snake years ago. Like, do you guys ever remember seeing like the hat thing yes, there was a thing that went around that people would put mini hats on their snakes and whatever. So annoying, but I probably got like 30 people messaging me that. And I'm like, at first I was so annoyed and I'm like, no, like I am top of mind, not only for my snake, but when they think about selling and then they come back. Like, you don't want to bombard them with only real estate stuff because that's annoying. Like no one wants to see
Yes,
that
no.
all the time.
Yeah, and then they'll just not.
Yes. But you do need to be
Yeah.
mindful that the sourdough thing, like I need to find the connection piece of like, this is why I do it. So I'm going to probably start adding them to our closing gifts. So then that's a good reason to post like, oh, I make this for our clients that buy a house. And so then it's plugging all the time what I'm doing. Because if I start only posting about sourdough, they're going to like forget about real estate. Because our brains, like think about it. Do you even remember what you scrolled before this class? Like, anyway, like you want things relatable so that they can think of you. Like my pit bull for the longest time, because I posted a lot about her. That was always a thing. I'd get tagged in all the pit bulls that were like looking for new homes and just
Well,
life stuff.
another thing to point out is that's not to say that social media is going to be your thing either.
Correct.
Like
100%.
that's just one facet of the business. So
But I
like,
think
we
you
talked
need
about
to be
client
seen.
referrals and yeah, so being seen, being top of mind, having something interesting, telling your
So
story.
if you guys told me your car was broken, I'm like, oh, you guys need to go to ABC Auto. What would your next step be?
Where's that at?
be able to look it up on.
But say it was in passing and now you're on your own, what would you do?
You go back to your Facebook page and see if you have a link to it or.
That, or go to Google.
Yeah.
Or go to Facebook to see what about that company. And so if someone gives you my card, you're like, okay, cool, like, who is this? And some people, again, that's gonna be my age group for the most part, they're gonna go to Facebook and see like, okay, what's going on Instagram too, to see if they're relatable and see if they want to work with that too. And that's my opinion. Again, it's not going to be everyone, like for sell by owners, they're not
Right.
gonna give a shit about my sourdough, and my kids and my chickens, like, they don't
TikTok, if they're
care.
younger.
Yes,
That's what you're
100%,
saying,
I'm
about
wrong.
the age group.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so you do have to know who you're going for.
Go where your audience is, where your target audience is.
I don't remember whose question was what, but I did answer it.
oh, I was just asking about the percent, because yesterday they were saying 80-20.
Mhm.
And it seems like that's basically what you're doing
You
without.
apply that to basically anything in your life, you're golden.
Question.
Only 20% real estate business,
No.
and is that everything else?
No, so 20% of your clients are gonna bring the bulk of your business.
So,
Yeah,
When you have an actual database.
so you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
recommend doing mileage over doing like, just like the gas receipts, the oil receipts? like
It
getting-
really depends on your situation. For
Okay.
me, there's no chance in hell I'm gonna be keeping track of all that. That's just not how I function. So I have an app called Mile IQ that's always on my phone and it tracks all of my drives. It's kind of annoying when I'm in somebody else's car, so then I gotta delete that drive off of my thing. But Kaylee, that's just the method that I've chosen.
What's
Kaylee
the
just-
name of it? Because I drive 100 miles
I
a
have an
day.
answer.
Yeah, we drive.
Mile IQ is what I use, but there's different ones.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Listen to
$7 a
podcasts.
month or something like that.
I have an answer too.
Yeah.
I've tried QuickBooks, like what you were saying too, of like the receipts and like scanning everything and taking a picture of everything. And every time for taxes, it never benefited me. So what benefits is what miles, every single time. Yeah. Putting more on is.
Like, you're gonna put a lot of miles on your car.
Mhm.
I would hope that you're putting a lot of miles on your car. It's a good thing to put a lot of miles on your car when you're an agent, because that means you're doing work.
To kind of keep it
but-
organized, I know you're in beginning stages, but when the time comes, having a separate business card is going to be super easy. And then Realty-Zam is
That's
QuickBooks, but for real estate, it's amazing.
Yeah,
What is it called?
Realty-Zam,
Realty.
yep, and it's $15 a month, you know?
Oh, it's way cheaper than QuickBooks.
How do you spell it?
QuickBooks.
Yeah,
is
refer us, you get it
75.
for free.
write it down.
Okay.
Give us your referral code.
Those are important things, you know?
Yeah.
Discovered that I had a referral code, I'll be honest. So Realty-Zam, and it's so easy, so simple. It shoots out, realtyzam.com. It shoots out a P&L at the end of the year for you. So if you tracked everything, you literally go to do your taxes, download your P&L, ready to go.
What's
So-
P&L?
Profit and loss.
Oh,
The business.
see,
Yep, so.
We're learning.
let me see,
I'm
where's my
learning.
children?
So you guys have LLCs then?
My referral code. Right down here, okay, is 22816. I talk about this all the time. This is the first time I've ever thought to put the referral code out there. Don't be a secret agent. Ask for referrals and share your referral codes for things. Yes. So I like Realty-Zam. I use
don't be a secret agent.
So
That
did you
was a
basically-
good one. No, that was
You
a
basically
good one.
get that real close and you just plug in everything in there.
Yeah, so I'll kind of show you, it's kind of dumbed down here, but like, and it does have a mileage tracker, but you can manually track things. But I like my like because it automatically does it. It's worth it to me to pay this $6-7 a month for it to do that automatically. QuickBooks has an automatic tracker too, I think, on your phone.
It does, yeah, but it drains your battery pretty quick.
Or 8 too.
I stopped worrying about it. The tax people
Yeah.
worry about it.
Yeah, and so this doesn't, I don't put my mileage into this. That's a separate report I get to make my
Okay.
tax person. But like you can put in, like if you have, so like these are my contracts for the past well, that's a lot of contracts. That's a long time. So like this is one that has yet to close. This one just closed on Monday. This one closed back in a long time ago. I'm not telling you how long ago that one was.
Oh, it's fine.
But like, so you put in your sales, you can put in your expenses, and you can arrange them for however you want your business reporting to be, so like. The
I
different
love to explore
categories,
that.
yeah, it's super handy, and then income, or not income, expenses, I'm like getting all lost on expenses. So you can connect, if you have a separate card that you use for all of your expenses, you can link it to RealtyZam. All of your expenses will automatically import, and then you just hold on to your receipts, and once a month, go through, I don't do the receipts because
I don't either.
but,
Because if you have a
Yeah.
separate business card,
Mhm.
it's, I don't wanna say that it's pointless, but you don't have any, commingling.
I would actually argue
Yeah,
that if
it's
you
like,
could
and
just
that's
like hold
better.
on to a receipt, don't
Mhm.
worry about taking it in there, but just organize them by year or something
You
like
should,
that, and
you
then
should,
just hold on to your receipts. But like, it'll automatically import all of those transactions from your card, and then you can just allocate them where they go. And your expenses are done and tracked, your income is tracked because you put your 1099 income in from all your transactions. They also have a CRM function, but we use Command for our CRM stuff,
Mhm.
but yeah, that's my.
Oh, not see, how many miles did you drive last year?
No, cause that's expensive.
It's.
16,000?
That's it?
Yeah, it wasn't very much. There's
Cool.
been other years where I've driven a lot.
Because we've gotten really good at, so we have an initial appointment with our clients either way. And we narrow it down, so we set the expectation of like, hey, these are the houses that you want, and we're only showing 3 to 7 homes
Yeah.
and then going under contract. Because
I-
we've set
I
those
don't-
expectations, probably less than that.
First time I met these clients, we saw 6 houses in one day, because that's the only day that they had
But
off
do they-
together.
The average driver drive around 5,000 miles
Yeah,
a year.
Yeah, which is
So if you're
crazy.
doing 16, you're doing work.
yeah, oh yeah. And like I said, we'll go, I mean, I'll go, we've sold a house in Nephi, I'll go all the way up to the Idaho border if I need
Mhm.
to. But farming wise, am I
You
gonna
wanna
target
try
people all the way up to the border? I don't drive out there all the time, I'm gonna target people that are closer to me.
Okay.
So that's my thing. with that.
I guess I thought you did that like all the time, because you said you went to Hiram and like,
Yeah,
so.
we'll take business wherever business comes from, for
So
real.
the reason
but-
we go so
yeah.
far is we are referral based.
Yeah,
And so a lot, like our Nephi people were, I guess they went to school in Brigham where I went to school, and then they moved out there. So that's why they went there. But we had one that they bought in Brigham, but they referred us to a client that was out in Grantsville. So of course I'm gonna take care of them because it was a referral. 'Cause that's literally.
it's
handy.
Willow, we have a lot of people who
It's
are
Willow.
referrals that wanna watch Willow. Direct to Willow. Like, it's not so bad.
Okay, any other questions on any of that?
Okay. I think I can have you the whole time.
Are you guys doing?
I didn't come that
next
time
week?
because I don't have tickets.
No, not part of next week, but I'll probably come to some of them.
We can just let them know we'll be on the sub list.
Yeah,
Okay, client referrals.
this is so important.
Keep this in mind as you're building your business now. If you do a good job, it's going to be easy, especially if you guys are asking referrals. I've been terrible and I don't actually ask for them. And so I look back and I'm like, oh man, then it's business that I probably could have earned by simply asking. So get comfortable with asking for referrals. Especially when, like I mentioned, at any point, like when you're having fun and you're like, oh my gosh, you guys are so fun. Like, do you guys have any other friends that I should be working with? Like they can be super casual.
That's the word, should,
Yeah.
that I should be working. Who
Yep.
do you know that I should be working?
Yep.
Kept forgetting it earlier. I was like, what's the word that goes there? That's because I don't practice it enough.
Yes.
So client referrals, so people already love
skipped
you.
To this one.
Yeah,
Ask for referrals. So this is always
Yeah.
provide value. And then reward the referral. So have you guys heard, what is it, Pavlov, what?
Pavlov stock.
Yeah, have you guys, do you know what that is?
No.
No?
Drooling dog.
Yeah, like he rings the bell and then he knows that the food's coming.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Conditioning.
Conditioning. Yes. So
So,
you want to train your people. So we've gotten really good. So, like you're from Ogden or whatever, people post in there, hey, looking for a realtor, and then they get bombarded.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it is. Everyone knows probably 10 realtors.
we want to train them to get us there first.
Yes.
So,
And tag us no matter what. So
Yeah.
the process is they tag us, we see it, we love it, we comment on them, and then we actually go to that person, the original poster, if it's not anonymous, and I screen them now because I have kids, but before, early in the business, when I didn't care who I was friends with, I would just automatically add them, message them, tell them who I was, and send them the link to our Facebook page, because then that's when they can see the value that we post and our reviews. And then I also go back to the original poster and I'll send them a message. Hey, do you know Billy Bob? How do you know him? Is it like, try to engage in a conversation? Again,
If somebody-
even if they don't, it's staying top of mind and having a conversation with them. hopefully leading the conversation to whatever else, what their real estate goals are, or whatever. But we also send them a $5 gift card. So one of our client events is a movie, a Megaplex, and we have to buy a bunch of gift cards. So ours happen to usually be a Megaplex gift card.
Yeah.
Just because we do it on opening night, you have to buy gift cards. But it can be Starbucks or whatever it means to you, but $5.
Send an Amazon gift
Yep.
card. Like that, you don't even have to physically get that. That's
But
like,
you want to try to do it every single time because then you're training them and then they're like, oh, I get $5 for Amazon or $5 to go to the movie just by tagging them.
so now I have another thing, because I'm all about compliance.
Yeah.
With this. So does anybody know what rules there are about referral gifts?
You can't
So-
specifically say, hey, refer me, I'm gonna give you this much.
Correct.
But
You
can-
cannot solicit referrals, and there is a cap to it. Here's how much that is.
250?
Yes,
So it's like- So it's like per gift,
it's 250.
it's not like per
Yeah,
year, it's like per
It's
gift.
gift, yes, it's per referral
Mhm.
is kind of the idea behind it, yes, so per referral, so like you have to be careful with that, you can't say, hey, if you send somebody to me, I'm gonna give you $100.
So that's why I
Mhm.
started out with the Pavlov's,
Dog, the train,
Yeah,
the conditioning them
training.
to.
is you're not telling them, but you're training them.
Like and then, here's another thing, if somebody refers us somebody and it closes, we send them.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Oh.
So if they send us and I'm like, hey, Jesse, my mom wants to buy, here's her number. We send a $25 gift card because that's a like
That's a
direct warm lead.
warm contact right there,
And
yeah.
then we reach out to them and then Perfect World, which coming out of market that was a little too crazy, but Perfect World, you write them a thank you card, handwritten thank you card. My sister-in-law made a note one time, or I wrote her a note and she's like, dude, it was so nice to get something real in the mail and not junk mail or bills. And so I'm like, oh shit. So I started the handwritten note thing before it was a thing and people love it. And the reason I actually sent it was at events, if you can just snap a selfie with your client, print it out and send it to them, guess what? Usually go on the fridge. And then people are like, oh, who's this person? And you're like, oh, it's my realtor. And then it's a conversation piece.
I was just thinking about that. I have Christmas cards from people from like 4 years ago still on my board because I feel like it's mean to
Someone
throw
just
it away.
text
I
me.
don't wanna throw it away.
Did one of you guys just text me?
I thought about it, I added a photo, so I was like, and something may
No,
come off,
they
you
just
know,
did.
that, you know?
Oh,
Like that. Yeah. She's like, is this Kiwi teaching Ignite? Yes, that's me.
oh my God.
Creeper. We started watching You the second season. Did
Oh.
any of you watch that?
I mean,
I'm
You?
shocked because I was. like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so the creepy
Yeah.
guy, like, he hasn't figured out who it is. And I'm like, you're watching me. Okay, anyway.
I'm because I don't have your number yet, Kat.
Okay, and then back to what you said. So you said the $25 if it is a,
Warm Passover,
Yep.
so actual phone number, like. Ideally, the best thing is to get like a joint text with all of you together. Like, you train people to be like, yeah, get us on a group text, get us on a group chat. Cause then they'll also hold that other person accountable to responding to you.
Yep. And it's really good if you, in the budget, because again, you should be sticking to a budget. And I know in the beginning, we don't have a lot of funds to do, but another perfect opportunity is once you go under, or text them and say, hey, Jesse and I just started looking at houses. It's been so fun. Thank you again for the referral. Just a text. It's simple as that.
It's another touch. Easy
Or
touch.
if they're super cool clients, send them a selfie with them, like just so
Yeah.
that you're putting your face out there and they're seeing you. And then once they go under contract, if it's in the budget, you could send them another $25 gift card and they're, dang, like I'm making money on this. And then I think this is where it goes into compliance. When they close, it should only be the difference of $250, right?
Yeah, total 250 for that transaction. You can't, but you do it different ways.
Yeah,
I'm like, we've changed it up so many times.
because you do want to change it, especially
Yeah.
because again,
It's
your
just-
top
you don't
20
do the exact
people,
same gift.
20% are gonna be your top people that are always referring you. They don't want to always be doing the same thing. But we give out swag that has our name and logo on it.
There's different programs that like you can auto generate it to send like.
But we're giving those big bucks
I
on
know,
that.
yeah.
But also you can give people gifts that aren't related to their referrals also. They're
Yes,
your friends.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yes.
Yeah.
Christmas, like,
but you just gotta be real careful with it because you don't want to get in trouble. I'm like,
Well,
you're not afraid
I'm not really
but I just,
Yeah.
I'm always nuts about that.
But yeah, that goes into pop buys too,
Yeah.
like, if you have
Pop
something
buys.
pop buys, so you're gonna pop by someone's house.
oh,
So if you
oh,
for chicken,
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah. So,
But if you're showing a house in someone's neighborhood that you know, if you had something in your car that, obviously you could do chocolate right now because it's winter, but I don't know what you do in summer. But you can pop by and be like, oh my gosh, I just showed the neighbor's house. Like, how do you love the neighborhood? So I can let my clients know. And then they're like, oh, you're doing real estate? Like if it's not someone that you've talked to, or just start a conversation from there. Like that's another good way to build business without spending a whole lot of money.
Or if I drive past one of our past clients'
You
houses,
just text them.
I'm like, just sell your house, I'm sure the house is street. Oh, they love that. They
Yeah.
love that so much.
Or if they have a cute wreath on their door, which I know it's a little harder for dudes, but like giving them compliments, like.
Oh,
Always something we will do.
Tennille was my realtor.
Yeah.
And I still thank her for the cards that she sends
Yeah.
that have like $5 off or like $20 off, even though it's just like a mail thing, a
Yeah.
service that's already
You
done.
use them.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, we
It's
go
like
to
the little
the
things.
ice cream place, Menchie's, when they come through, yes.
Right?
Yep.
You aren't gonna forget.
Oh,
to-
yeah.
So you gotta be that person.
Yeah.
for somebody
Yep.
else.
100%.
I'm trying to think, is that all, yeah, that's all we do with referrals.
Mhm.
And then because our database is so big now, so our referral partners, like our top people that actually are always supporting us online or giving us referrals, they're getting first dibs at the seats for our movie event. Because we rent
Yeah.
out a whole theater, and so we're letting them get first dibs.
They're like your A.
And we let them know, like, hey, you're
Yeah.
one of our top people, you get first dibs on this, we're not opening it up to our other clients until next week or whatever.
They are special. You should make them feel special.
Yes.
How many different tiers do you guys have? And do you letter them or do you have more
Yes.
fun names than?
No,
we-
Keep it simple.
keep it simple. Yeah, A, B, C, D
Mhm.
clients. So A is anybody that has bought with us, bought with us and referred a closing transaction to us. B is anyone that's bought with us, bought or sold with us. And then C is ghosted past client, so past client who no longer communicates with us, but is still like in the mix. Or somebody who has a house to sell or could potentially be a buyer. And then D are randos that have never communicated back, kind of like basic leads.
Basically, we have their info, but there's nothing. I
Oh,
call it the unmined database, because you don't want to throw those numbers away, like we should be
Yeah.
calling
I
them
did
and
want-
trying to work them. up.
Yeah, I know
Right.
it's tempting,
I- yeah,
but don't throw them
I
away.
have no patience for these. We don't want to hear
But
from me.
it goes back to, if you may reach out for 7 years, they're not ready.
Yeah.
But they've had your name and your info in their inbox for those 7 years. If
Right.
They haven't told you to go.
That's,
then
yeah,
show
they
it.
could, they could
Yeah.
probably just say, leave me
Yeah.
alone if they,
Yeah.
you know, maybe they are getting
You
it
don't-
subconsciously.
It's just seeing your name too. They don't have to click stuff.
I always have to tell myself that, like, I feel like I've neglected my database. I always feel like I've neglected my database. The reality is I reached out to them multiple times. They haven't responded to me. They own me. When I reach out to them, I'm so sorry, I haven't got a chance to text you back. They feel obligated and they owe me. When you call, they're gonna feel a little guilty if they haven't responded to you. This is like, don't be scared to call them because this sounds so mean, but you're in the power position. Like, you're in the social power position at that point, so.
And we
don't
have
be
to
scared.
remember, just like us, like, they have lives that they're so busy
Yeah.
with. For me, I see that, especially personal texts, I suck at getting back to friends. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like even right now, if I get
Are you
something, I'm like, oh, that's so
I have a
awesome.
friend
And
that
then I
texted
totally
me and was
forget
like, "We
about them.
still on for it?" I was like, I forgot the 5 days ago we talked on the phone and I told you we'd hang out on Saturday. I didn't say that, but I was like, yes, it's on my calendar again. And did I I have to put friend events on my calendar because otherwise I won't get them.
Back to time
Yes.
blocking, you should put
Yes.
anything that's important to you, even like date night with your spouse or
Mm-hmm.
with your kids, special time with your kids, like it needs to be put in the calendar, because when you start
Yeah.
getting busy, that'll be the first thing to drop.
I
You'll be
forgot
like,
to
"Oh,
check
money,
the
I'll pay some
calendar
money."
before doing my open house, before scheduling my open house and reaching out.
Are we supposed to do a date night?
No, Galentine's.
Oh, Valentine's.
I like go to put it in there because he's asking me what time and I go to put it in at the same time and I was like, oh.
You gotta move it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Agent to agent referrals.
I already touched base on that. Do we have any
Yes.
questions on that?
Is there like a typical percentage for? Well, I don't know.
To share.
I heard 30, you should ask for 30%, but
You know what?
I don't know, I'm
25.
gonna be doing
30%.
this.
This is
Yeah.
the most hated and loved phrase in real estate.
Everything
Ever
is
heard-
negotiable.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. There you go.
Right.
All right.
It never hurts to ask for more.
It's negotiable. That's the reality. It never hurts to ask. It's painful to ask actually sometimes. And everything's negotiable except something to negotiate about. But it's all negotiable. So if that's what you're aiming for, go for it. But you better come with some reasons and be able to justify, you know what I mean? Like, back it up if you can, but don't get butt hurt and lose the opportunity if they say no.
There's a
like
lot of
maybe they're
agents.
agent.
There's a lot of people who I could refer people to, so.
No, it's
Like
my thing.
agents that you know in.
But
other
I realized that
areas, or
I
people that would be looking,
probably have
that you
chickens.
could find them.
I'm like, I'm not gonna.
I don't know any of the agents, I know.
No,
people
but we do have
are
some
going
up
to be
front.
selling their houses.
I know,
So-
it's after hours.
There's a lot of opportunity there, so-
I looked at it, yeah.
Yes.
I couldn't pull it up on my phone. I was trying to.
Especially because Utah doesn't
As
know
much
what
as
it's
it's really
doing.
nice.
Yeah.
to have
Either
people
freezing or
there
not.
and
I think
stuff
it's
like
gonna
that,
snow.
you don't
Yes,
have to
it
be
is.
getting
It looks
fancy.
pretty
There's a lot of
snowy
snowy.
out there.
When I get home, yeah.
Yeah.
And it is supposed to snow, so I have a
need
few
to
people, they're
learn.
like,
I-
alright, I'm going skiing, I'm like, go for it.
Yeah.
But I was going to crap.
What else? Do you
Yeah.
have an opportunity? Do you have
I
anything
went on
that's not ready
Wednesday.
to go?
Like,
There was a lot of
No.
dirt.
yeah,
Nice.
it's bad right now.
Search for opportunities. You should create an opportunity for them so that you can track them. So you're like, who do I need to talk to? What is my potential income?
I don't know how to do those
You
things.
know, that's why you gotta come to tech training.
Yep.
Tech training.
Locking down a neighborhood is kind of a thing.
Yeah, people,
You can.
yes,
schedule
I,
that too.
I guess it's just the locking down that I rejected.
What
in
do you
that.
mean?
Just because people aren't as
Okay.
loyal as you think.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
Yes, so like, that goes back to farming. Like, if you're constantly farming in the neighborhood, I see anybody else's sign in my neighborhood, I'm like,
Yeah, people could go out of their way not to go with you, just. That's so weird.
yeah, that will happen.
And it
that
really
can happen.
hurts, but you also have to remember, like, they're assholes, you don't know.
They're not really.
It's their loss. It's their loss.
People who don't have fun.
Reality
We're gonna get a
is,
bad deal.
Sorry, we should have
We
warned you that we.
yeah. We don't discount. We aren't discount agents. We're full service agents. We work hard and we deserve every cent that we get.
Agreed.
And so if that doesn't work for them, and the reality is that's not gonna work for some people, like, it's okay, because
Cause those are gonna be your worst nightmares.
they're,
They're tough in the beginning.
and it's the hardest transactions you're gonna make the least amount of money.
Cause you're gonna work more.
You're gonna work so hard. And yeah, if they're already nickel and diming you at that point, they're probably gonna be kind of difficult.
So you wouldn't take 70% for a referral?
Yeah,
70%, I would take 70%.
I think most agents will, because
Yeah.
guess what, you're literally handing them a
It's
paycheck.
business.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking, right? Like,
But
So you might as well ask,
But,
is my advice
but
on
here's
this.
the thing, your opportunity is to set that straight out of the gate.
Yeah.
Like, just call them if they answer, say, hey, I need a referral agent in your area. I don't, you can be upfront, I don't have business at this particular moment, but I've been in the military
Mhm.
and I need somebody in those areas. Yeah, and say, what do you think about pre-arranging a referral, an exclusive referral agreement between us? Like, you don't necessarily have to have a contract, but like, if you say, I wanna be your exclusive referral partner for Utah, they're like, yeah, and you're gonna send me all of your people from Utah. Like, that gives you a total opportunity to reach out and pre-negotiate that.
sure.
Like, and this is something that everybody should do. Like, I would say once every 6 months will I get another agent reaching out to me to become a referral partner.
Mhm.
And they usually send me the referral email. They don't
And I
try
hate
to
it.
call me and they don't try to text me.
Because I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but like, how much better of an impression would they make if they actually called me, say I didn't
And
answer,
then have follow-up.
yeah, and have follow-up email, left me a voicemail. There's been a couple that do that, but like, it's like once every 6 months. So like, if they were sending me business, how much more inclined am I to send them business too?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, so you pre-negotiate it, like, then it's simple. It's just
So
like, hey,
yes.
I've got so-and-so, here's
You
our
should ask.
referral sheet. Send it off to them. You've already got it negotiated. You know, they're gonna accept it and sign it. Easy.
Yeah, it seems great.
Yeah.
It seems awesome.
Keller Williams is worldwide, so worldwide referrals, worldwide referral network. Business to business referrals, so this is tapping into your allied resources. People that you feed people, people feed you type of thing. So like your lender, that's.
What did you guys all do before work? Or before real estate? Currently, I'm good, late in the night. What did you do before real estate?
Finance.
So you do have some people kind of in this. that You could connect to.
Nice. That's who you want.
Slightly.
Schools are the customers you want.
But you have a lot of.
Um,
Does anybody like Harry Potter?
Cool.
Yeah, I do. How was that relative? I just text message from James.
Oh my.
Salt Lake City?
My husband is reading Harry Potter, he works at the IRS and he's been catching, never made it all the way through the books, he's finally making it through the books. And he's just picking up six books.
Are you always?
And he goes, Dementors reading interesting concepts. Share my. Okay,
I think we get the gist of that.
okay. After geographic, I mean, we talked about this. Okay, open houses, social media, conversations, contacts, notes. Maximize prospects and marketing in a geographical farm. Make sure that you're logging when you talk to somebody. Take notes. Take notes on what works and what doesn't work. Like after you, oh no, you're good.
Can you do that on the app
Command?
command?
Yes, yeah. So there's a note section in every contact and you can log what kind of contact it was, or you can just add a random note, like it's pretty easy. You pull out your phone and just log it right from the app. Or you can get in and take big old long notes, you know?
You ever notice where you put
You're
your
getting with
yeah,
Bradley. Sorry, dude.
They shouldn't do that. They should convert it.
With Bradley, he
Does it not?
has like,
It didn't.
it's like 30 minutes and he'll go through.
You're not on the
all-
team, right?
everything that you can do
You're not on the team?
With the contacts.
I was thinking.
There's so much.
Cause I wonder if they'll go in like to a different,
A lot, like.
there shouldn't be a gap
I
on
was
this.
going, it was like I was at,
It's cool.
I was at a Thai restaurant.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I gotta put in the note about this.
Yeah.
I used the app on my phone, and then when I went into command, it wasn't there. I was like, that's weird.
It's because they reset it. They reset the plan.
Or, but it shouldn't kick out information that you put in there.
It
Where did you put the
happened to
note?
me. It happened to
I
me.
don't know.
Maybe
If you
that's-
save it, click save. The actual button that says save.
So it needs to be connected to a.
Oh, I didn't know you guys could save. I thought it was just like Google Docs and everything. It's just automatic.
It needs to be connected to a contact.
Allison just told me there's a training part and a real part, if you can hear me. So it might be in the training versus your other one.
Did you select all time? Because if it was more than 7 days ago, it doesn't automatically pull up the full timeline. You have to
Or
select
see
all time.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's a filter in it.
He's like, I'm gonna,
I'll look at that.
Yeah.
you go ahead and pull it up,
Yeah.
we can look at it.
Yeah.
'Cause we're really sticking
Yeah.
to this. We don't have time.
Well, I talk about events and seminars. So this is an opportunity for lead generation. It's something that I'm really tapping into. Actually, family reunion last year is where I heard that, and these guys are kind of salesy and goofy, like car salesy, doofy dudes. And they're like, that's their whole team is built off of doing fire seller seminars. And I'm just like, I would feel so scammed by these guys. I could do so much better. How are they making so much money being so scammed? That's mean, but that was just like my feeling off of them. So I picked up doing seminars as a lead generation opportunity. And so I've done 2 online and we've done 1 in person, and I very much advise you to do it in person.
Yeah,
And
online.
yeah.
People will.
Oh, they
Yep.
blame.
Go on first.
I had, this is my mistake, I had put out ads for it and hadn't settled into a geographic location, so I had people from all over the country who were signing up, and then a bunch of people, I was like, well, I'll still get a referral out of it, wasn't gonna kick them out. They missed the different timeframes, because they didn't realize it was a different time zone, it was a mess.
Oh,
But you learn when
So,
you're taking notes
yes.
and improving
Oh,
from
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and so I decided in person. 'cause
There
then
was, at
it's
some point, I was
connected.
gonna say that, like, just take notes and improve, like, whatever
Oh,
your
that's
failures
what-
are,
that's
they're
what I
not
was
failures, they're
thinking, yeah.
learning lessons, just improve from there.
Yeah.
Like, don't be negative about it.
After door knocking, sit down in your car and think, what could I have done better? What am I missing? What do I need to learn?
Yeah, learning experience,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
In command, they do not have any Keller Williams like logos and things like that, so the flyer that I was gonna do for the open house, I couldn't put it on there, and then even then, like, Bradley showed me how to download it, but it won't print from, anyway, we won't get into it.
Well,
The design tab, they kept Keller Williams.
Okay, I got
Couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't print,
If it's,
I don't know about the
picture, that's
printer.
why, he's a pain in the ass.
but it's
Yeah, I
color.
tried-
We save it as a PDF or something, it wouldn't print a JPEG.
So I
it was, like,
did it as a
weird
PDF, I
colors
did
and
it as a
stuff.
JPEG, I sent it over like 4 times, it wouldn't print, and I was like, I give up, and I
Yeah.
went, I was like, I can't.
Huh. So,
Go to Kinko's.
in
It
the,
is so much more expensive. You go to Kinko's, they wanted $40.
For like a one.
$40 for
guess
like
what?
50 of them.
save some
So
trees.
if you do 100, it's like $100. I was like,
Yeah, like
hell no.
$1 a page, that's
guess-
wild.
But if you have a conversation with them, to say, hey, I have a digital flyer, can I get your number to send it to you?
yeah.
Corner store.
So I don't have full flyers, full page flyers.
Cause you wanna
I put it in
be
half.
able to send them.
I doubled it. Yeah.
What do you do when you door knock? You don't have flyers?
I do the flyers, I usually do the flyers, but I do it, I call it a 2-up because I speak print. inventory. So I just do, like you take a piece of paper, instead of doing it like this, I do it like this and then cut it in half. And I have 2 pretty good sizable flyers I can put a good amount of information on. It's a smaller thing to hold on to, so it doesn't blow it all over the place, and I'm getting double the paper for my cost.
And something else we do when we door knock, if they don't answer, obviously
Yeah.
90% of people have the doorbell camera, we actually tell them who we are.
Yeah.
Not
Leave a-
everyone's gonna look
Leave a
back.
video
but yeah.
voicemail.
I
Yeah.
feel like there was one that we,
Yeah.
they're probably like, I'm never hiring them. It's fine.
Well, and they're gonna, you have to keep in mind, they're gonna watch you walk up to the house too and walk away from the house, so always be respectful, don't step on the lawn, be mindful of what you're
Watch
talking
your
about.
conversations
Yeah.
too.
Pretend to trip.
You could.
So they're like,
So like, what do you say? So we're just like, hey,
Hey,
it's,
Haley and Jesse, we're just knocking the neighborhood to let you know that we're having an open house down here. We're gonna leave our card here. Let us know if you have any questions.
That's it.
Easy.
I've seen that.
Will you say like what house? Or you don't
It's
say
a
what
flyer.
house?
It's on the flyer, we have directional signs, they'll figure it out. And if they're interested, like, we're leaving our card too. Cause cards are pretty cheap, and so if you're leaving that message, and not everyone's gonna see it, like, I don't see any of my notifications, my husband does. But at least I can be like, well, whose card is this? And then he's like, oh yeah, they did stop, and then pull it up.
I mean, we all spy, but we always find something, we're trying to find something to compliment the house on the way up to the door, especially.
Like, as
I
we're
see-
talking to
Uh-huh.
each other.
It's like,
That's so
yeah, what's
sneaky.
this?
Oh, wow, they got such good taste. Whoever owns this house is so
I
cool.
genuinely do usually like it,
But it's not fake. come
Yeah.
on.
yeah.
It's
because
real,
you
but
want it
that
to
we
be
are
genuine, but,
mindful.
like, yeah, just like it's that
Coincidence.
social hacking type of thing. Okay, so lead generate with a
And you have to be
plan.
careful about like the rude comments too.
So
Like, oh, this
sneaky.
house seems like a smoker's house. Say that.
Yeah,
Add
just,
several
yeah,
times.
keep it all to yourself. Even when you're showing houses, do not.
Yes, when you're showing houses, pretend like you're always on camera, no matter what you say.
Because you
And
pretty much
Tell your clients that too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if we're gonna have any serious conversations or any like negative comments that we want to make about the house, like let's.
Yeah.
outside.
probably not,
And
you
more.
guys haven't gotten to that type of service and stuff yet, huh?
Where all those sales jabronis are for sponsors.
Yeah.
And more.
Yeah.
And more,
But
yes.
the 12-hour new agent course, they go over that.
That's
Oh,
good.
yes, Kate, good. I forget. We went to, no.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
I
do
think
that
I just
yet.
recently went to it, anyways.
I was supposed to.
Oh,
Yes, you did.
I did go to it to talk about women's council, that's what it
You
was.
did?
for. Okay.
That's all right.
That's
That's right. Yeah.
I did it like right before my license renewed. Okay, lead
I feel like
generation
we've
plan.
talked about
Yes,
every single.
so make a plan. Don't just willy-nilly, make a plan, define your 4 pillars for your business for lead generation. And time block it, plan it, execute it, analyze it.
The plug for a good book to read is the one thing, either listen to or read,
Yeah,
that goes into time blocking and protecting that time block, which I suck at.
I think it's an email.
Yeah.
I'm going through this because we got 20 minutes. See it.
And people.
TCPA, do not call people or text people on the do not call or contact list.
And this is why it's been easy for me, is because mine has all been through social media. So if we're friends on there, like they're not on the do not call, like that's not such thing, like, hey, you added me back kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't have to stress about it.
Yeah,
It's been nice.
so that's the thing. You only really should worry about this if you're cold calling and you usually are cold calling because you're buying. So, yeah. Another thing is if you're getting contacts or leads from title or whatever geographical pull or whatever you've done, you want to scrub those for do not call list stuff as well. So do not contact.
Title, say, what?
Your title company can pull information for you.
Really?
For free, okay.
I don't know that they usually have contact. information. I've never.
They can at least show you, like, cause I have a property that the buyers wanted to.
That's
They-
wild.
they
The house
can
client wanted to buy
give
land
you
next to
this,
them, and they were
like,
able to get me
spouse
where
thing,
that
your-
owner lived, cause it's just a
phone
piece of land. So I was like,
I
get
wonder
the address,
if
so I go
emails,
door knock.
Like, do they have those phone numbers again?
How do we find the?
How do you find the title company?
Is that
Well,
part of,
we
like,
just never
tax
had them
information?
so that
So
I
when
can
you go
do-
under contract on a house, there's gonna be an escrow
Okay.
officer, that title company that
What phone
facilitates
number they
everything.
Right.
And so that's, it's like a lender, it's going to be someone that you connect with.
Smart.
You don't have any.
It's smart.
anymore.
I,
I have one title company.
Yeah.
They'll be able to get any,
Like.
Yeah.
oh, I thought it was like specific
You don't
for
know
that.
your title
You
company.
can get anyone's,
you go to
Title.
any title company.
oh, they all have the same information.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh, cool.
if they want your business,
Who do you?
they want your
use?
business.
Danielle Lane at Old Republic Title. They're awesome. They're just right here, walking distance.
You
They're
guys
also-
probably almost all met Donna.
Yeah, that's
Right?
where I went.
Everybody met
Yeah.
Donna.
I don't know if
So
it's the same
Donna
person.
is
Kelsey?
sales
I don't
rep for
know. It was
Old Republic
like
Title.
10 years ago.
Oh,
That's the thing to say about Donna.
What?
She's the sales rep for Old Republic Title, because she's like, that's
she's way
just
more than
the
that. though.
smallest thing of what she does, so.
Mhm.
If you get a chance to meet Donna, love on Donna.
I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. This is affirmations. You guys tell yourself good things and things that you believe and want to believe.
Yes.
Don't think negative thoughts.
I know it sounds woo-woo, and I reject woo-woo a lot of the time,
But
but
it's-
affirmations and mindset are so important for everything that we do. Cause like I said, we get so, celebrate success, yes. We get so many negative, no's, it's hard, it's hard.
I think
So-
the other book for that is Jab, Right Hook, I think is what it's called. I haven't listened to it, but that's a good one about like enjoying the journey about getting no's and not necessarily looking for the yeses, like just finding joy in the journey.
But see, we go back to that. Quote,
People are happy to be in relationship with me. Like I said, you might feel like, oh, I haven't reached out to somebody in a really long time. They're probably gonna be like, ew, why are you calling me? They're also feeling guilty about having not reached out to you. When they see you call, they're like, why are they
It's
calling
just me, or should that say to be in a relationship with me? If
Um,
that reads weird to me. In relationship.
Probably
with
like
me.
proper English, but yes, I agree
Yeah.
with you.
real quick. We got this one.
It was a typo, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, oh, yes, and then, the Connect, I don't know how updated it is, 'cause they've made a lot of changes to Command recently, but go on YouTube too. There's a bunch of hacks on YouTube.
Basically,
for
Connect
Command.
is the YouTube
Yes.
for Connect.
Okay, keep every lead. We're gonna blow into,
We've kind of already talked about keeping them, like do a good job, stay in touch with them. You've got your 36 touch event.
Oh,
15 minutes and we're
Where'd
moving
you
on
learn
to the
most of the
second.
stuff on social?
But this was good, this was good.
Everybody says that, and then like,
That's what
it's
I
just.
But it's because it's giving us real.
And then I'm
real
just like a
teaching,
storyteller
like,
anyway,
it's
like,
not just a
and I want to
concept.
get.
We
to
have
the
the slides.
I feel like the easiest way is.
You know,
Okay,
We
that's
have
good.
them. We
Does
can.
that make sense?
we can look at it.
But I don't know, and that's what's really hard with the people with-
Well, Google it.
And like my brain
Yes,
is set that
that's
way,
true.
and I'm really good at like taking a picture of my
My
kid walking down the road and then like I can print it.
We always want.
But people want to see it because of the story about
People
like
find it
why we were
valuable.
out.
Whatever we're doing, we wanna find it back. This one, we've got. this
Maybe
one's
just
shorter.
follow, I think my advice would be to follow people like me and other people to just get ideas about it and get ideas on content, like.
Yeah.
I post a lot, I am not very active on social media, like I don't scroll in there, but I did probably like a year ago, go through and just unfollow a lot of people or whatever, like turn it off so I didn't see them. So all of my things now are content that I could recreate of other agents, so that would be my advice.
We send reels back and forth to each other, like, we should do this.
Mhm.
We need to do it.
Yes, we,
Right.
that's probably all our Instagram is,
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah.
Like the one where you have the ring on your hand, like the key ring, but the things right here. I did something. Just kidding. You're going to, and you walk to the front door or whatever.
Did it?
Yeah, I really want to do that one.
Okay. Now we're getting sidetracked again.
No, this is good
Yes, there's only 3 sections, not 5 to this
Here you
one.
go.
Okay. What is lead follow-up? Life of a lead, we talked about that. Lead follow-up, possible, probable, profitable business. Okay, so
We got this.
Do it.
we got this. Here's kind of the framework.
Who needs a
for
power
this.
up?
Okay,
Y'all are good.
so this goes into, I'm like, where are the funnels at? Well, that's it on that one. Okay, we've got a funnel system here somewhere, the
The
CAM.
MREA.
Yeah, yes. So, you have to have a framework for your follow-up because like we mentioned in the last one, once you have a lead, if you let it go, you wasted all that lead generation that you did and it's all business. So the further along you go with your follow-up, the more likely and probable your business is.
the two real life examples would be the possible business is like my Facebook friends of like 4,000 and my database of 1,200. The probable business are those A and B clients that we just talked about. And then the profitable business is the ones that actually raise their hand.
So another way to think about it in numbers is possible business is all of your contacts. Probable business is a 6% turnover every year. So there's something in Keller Williams called the 201 Club. If you have more than 201 people in your lead generation in your CRM in command, and you have a 36 touch program, your projected income would be $100,000 of GCI off of 201 people. Like that's the data on if you have a good follow-up plan and touch contact plan and how little people you actually need in your database in order to achieve that objective.
Have you guys ever done memory joggers? I know in Ignite, it used to be one of the first classes.
I kept
No.
asking for Allison for that, and I still haven't thought
Okay.
I want them.
What's your email?
And
Memory jogger?
Like alphabetical, like the people that you know and,
Oh.
like a plumber. So then you think about plumbers. Okay, who do I know that's a plumber? And then you can add to your database. That's very exciting.
You know what's kind of funny is
And your phones. Have you guys ever looked at how many people you have on your phone?
that's one of the
88.
And mostly out of state, and a lot of them were just either just like addresses and phone numbers or just phone numbers with no other information. It was great. It's. But yeah, most of my contacts are out of state.
You can
Like
still let
East
them know.
Coast.
Like,
I have a bad habit of just picking the first name. So I
So,
look at it and like I have like 3 Amy's. I'm like, I don't know.
so text them
You
and
know?
just say,
No.
hey,
And
oh, okay. Okay, I get that. So if there's, okay. But if it's Barbara and there wasn't a story with Big Barbara, just text them and just say, hey, I've got your number saved as Barbara. I'm so sorry. Where did we cross?
If it was safe, I would.
Yes.
But I don't know.
That took me a second, but yes.
It'll make.
I get-
When you come all the people who work there, like, oh, let's have them working there and-
See what the outcome is. What do you get sidetracked with?
MREA. I was just like looking at. So like, this is like the Bible of real estate. No, you know, real estate.
That's actually what brought me to Keller Williams is I picked that book up and I was reading it and then I met with our team leader and she spoke like.
It was a big reason why I came
actually.
from equity. I read it. I got it like December 28th and I'm done with it.
Nice. It's
That's
It's really good.
it's insane because when I came over here and people were talking from that book and they run their business like that, I'm like, what the hell? Like that, people do that?
Actually do it.
Yeah, they actually
Yeah.
do at a high level. 'Cause
So-
I was the big fish in our little brokerage that we had. And so to me, I was like tapped out. I didn't think that there was more. And then reading that book, because I was like, okay, like I want more. Because my first 5 years in real estate, I doubled every year. And so I was like, okay, well, how the hell am I gonna go from, I'm trying to remember, it was like
20.
I think it was 29 and I wanted to double and I'm like, I have no idea how to do that. Like, that's a huge number. And so I picked up that book and then the team leader had reached out to me and yeah, that's what, long story short.
Where were you before?
Cornerstone Real Estate, which is a cute little boutique, like, and it was so hard to leave because it was just that really tight knit family, like
Is it-
there were.
okay, you said you went to school.
They have an office here in South Ogden, Preston, Idaho and Logan. So it's just really small. Yeah, and it was so hard to leave. But coming here, you get that family feeling, like everyone's open door, everyone's here to help. And if they're not, we should kick them out.
Yeah, equity was just over Zoom. Like,
Mhm. And I
I
think,
only saw like, I knew the associate brokers,
Mhm.
that was it. 3 of them and everybody else, it was like, I didn't even know, like,
and sometimes that works for some people, but I'm a very good like social
Oh, so-
person.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's how most people learn. And like, if you're only doing Zoom, like you're not in a room like this and learning and getting to know different things. And so then I think that holds you back. And that was one reason I did change is like, I was the big dog. And so my mind was so dog and oh, like 28 deals, like that's all I can do, that's an amazing thing. But I was like, I wanted to double more because I just want to grow. And that's why I have a team now too, because I'm like, I can't manage more than 40 transactions myself. Like that's insane for how I want to live my life.
Where is it? Lead,
And
lifting,
so-
leverage. The
So, yeah,
triangle.
It was nice to come here and then be one of the. Kind of sucked at first, but it's nice.
it's kind of at the end.
Damn tough.
If you aren't first or here to read this.
If
The-
you're
the-
at first or second,
That's just testimonials from like.
Oh.
But that's the reality.
And
Yeah.
I have learned very painfully, probably several times, that if you're not asking for their business, how do they know that you want it? So for me, people just see like, oh, I'm so busy, I do this and this and this, and I've actually had people say like, oh, I didn't think you'd want my business. I'm like, what the, of course I do. But I never asked them and made it very clear to them that I want to work with
We're
them.
never too busy to work with
And
I
it's
always
good to-
have time, that's my,
Yeah.
I always have.
One day,
time.
one day I will be.
But
That's
you
really
can-
my goal.
You can make it appear that you are busier, like doing all the open houses or just posting about houses. Like you can do the reels of like a screen record of you scrolling through the houses. Like, oh, I'm gonna go tour this house tonight. Could be, doesn't have to be the client. Like you can fake it till you make it, but you really
Definitely
are
ask
touring it and
permission.
learning the market.
Ask
Simon
permission
should
from
have.
the listing agent and their
Yeah.
client.
Oh, the
key-
key
before you
key Supra, Supra?
Oh, Supra, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I need that one.
yes.
And then I will, I'm just gonna go to people's houses,
Yep.
check them out,
You gotta
videos.
get permission. Always get permission.
Yeah, pretty.
Always get.
Well, don't I need that app?
To be able to
Yeah.
access their house.
Yes,
Yes.
but if you
It's not
want to film
related
it.
with the permission? Oh,
Yes,
to
if you
film
want
it.
to film photos or make any content out of it, ask permission. And always ask, do you, are you and your seller okay with me doing this?
Not just the agent, you want to specify the
Yes,
seller.
and the seller, that's liability. If the seller gets pissed off, he said, I asked if your seller was too.
That's super important to know.
Yes.
That was actually the, so More Club is the Masters of Real Estate. So it's a certain production level. We have different masterminds and we just had the Division of Real Estate come in on Wednesday. And that was one thing that we learned is that you need to be like specify that your seller like gave us permission, not just the agent. 'Cause the agent said yes, but if they didn't ask their client and like, and they said, yes, you could, that falls on them because they gave you permission, as long as we are the ones asking, hey, do we have permission from you and your seller?
Right.
And when we turned the tables, because I kind of had like an aha when I was sitting there, because most of the complaints that the division gets is from the public. And I'm very guilty of this, where I'll post a selfie of me in the kitchen and like say how awesome this house was. There's gonna be some grumpy gusses that don't want their picture, even though they're selling their house. Like that's where my mind is like, why I'm getting more exposure to your house. But there's some people that don't want pictures out there on my social media. And so we've got to be mindful of that and get permission, which is gonna slow me down and that's gonna be a hard habit to fix. But when she turned the tables and it's for the consumer and the public, I'm like, okay, like that makes 100% sense. Where my mind was very genuine and I was like, oh, you want more exposure for your house to get it sold, but not all.
So have you gotten complaints?
Not personally, no,
Cool, yeah.
no.
It's my biggest fear. Actually, I'll tell you what my biggest fear is,
Good, but
to get an email from the division about a violation that I missed.
Well,
And
they're
then
back on
think I
4
ignore
years,
it.
so.
Are they? Then I'm good for another year.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, I was looking on their website, they have a bunch of information about what they're investigating. And it always, it seems like it's a lot of like fraud, like actual crimes,
there
not
are
like,
actual crimes that are.
yeah, a lot of, like every day.
State is
Every
the
day.
easiest way to commit, target and commit a lot of fraud, and it's the easiest because it's the easiest way to launder. Used to be the easiest way to launder money and stuff like that. That's like why when your clients have a big lump of cash, it needs to be seasoned in the bank, like they shouldn't be pulling money out from under their mattress. It needs to be in the bank and be sourceable for them to use it towards their house, just a little.
Yeah, but we're not gonna put it in the bank.
Yeah, no, and so like, there's just like, there's lots of things like that.
Since I am plugging social media a lot, so when you guys post anything that's marketing your services or marketing a house, you need to have your brokerage on there. Because you can get in a lot of trouble. If you do not have an iPhone, like if you have, I think Samsung or I have a Google Pixel, you can actually save it to your clipboard and pin it. So for me, anytime I post anything about real estate, I just click and post and I'm compliant.
I have.
So
if
I've
you
got
go
it
to
that says
iPhone-
Keller Williams.
Yeah.
Keller Williams success, and it has all my hashtags that I want to use, so it's super easy.
So
You don't put your license on.
No,
if I-
no,
if you have an
it just needs
iPhone,
to be very easily
is a
known
free
like,
app
where you're
that
at.
does essentially
Should
the
be
same
KW
thing.
success or
It's
Keller
the
Williams
case
success.
so it's where he has like the little notebook.
Love you, Tom.
That's our team name.
Oh,
So this copy paste here.
You
it's
did
got-
download an app for that?
Yes. Listen, it's basically the same once you've downloaded it and set it.
No, it's not, because it's not from your keyboard. Is
It
it?
is for my keyboard. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
It's once you set it up. So there's an app and then you have to turn the keyboard on your settings. And then it's got like all these things. So like this is what we put on the end of everything. Call us, it's got my name, Kaylee's name. Our Key Utah Realtors at KW Success, Keller Williams Realty, and then our hashtags. That
Can I look at
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that logo everywhere.
Huh?
What's the name of it?
Copy or paste keyboard. Paste keyboard and it's got like a little mini keyboard underneath like a blue type of screen. It's like the logo for it. No, you're good. You're good.
She got off.
I get like a dry.
Kat said that you guys can't hear me. I wanted to say that any action is better than none at all. Which is 100%
Yes.
right.
100%.
Does that mean that they?
So
Yeah, I think she's got
to cover your booty,
it.
CYA always put Keller Williams or KW Success Keller Williams Realty on the end of whatever you post. Just throw it on there, or not in your put your brokerage on there. So
We accepting new agents?
always.
Oh, yeah. Whole downline.
we-
Let me sign you up. Let me tell you. Let me get you.
No, and I think
Sign here.
the awesome thing about Keller Williams is like.
Any action's better than no action.
We want almost everyone that fits our culture because we want good agents out there, not ones that don't know. Because
That
those are the
don't
ones that
wanna
are gonna
learn.
burn out and not be successful in real estate, which is like real estate, like you can, I don't know. It's a whole new world when you get into real estate.
Real
and
estate is
what
not a
possibilities you have.
career, it's a lifestyle.
Agreed.
Best lifestyle ever.
So yes,
It's
if
really.
you are
about
interested,
business.
we can get you set up with either Tim or Rusty. Make sure it's a good fit for you.
Be awesome. Yeah, definitely.
I did all the talking, I get it. I'm just kidding.
Who invited him to Ignite?
Did you?
Not personally, he's not my host.
Okay, fine.
Invite.
Yeah,
How I
Okay,
can-
fine.
I believe
Yeah, your social media is working.
It is.
for once. No, that's the thing. Kaylee's got the social media on lock. Most of mine are like referrals from family and friends. But that's just because social media doesn't come natively to me the way it does her. Okay,
I'm gonna be the person. We are at 7:30. Do you guys
Okay.
want to spend 10 more minutes and go through this? Or 10 minutes of like going through questions that you have? What do you guys want to do? Or be done? Because I want to be respectful of the time.
What are the options?
Anything. We can be done, spend 10 minutes, blast through that, 10
If
minutes
you
of
don't
asking
feel bad
questions,
about
whatever
leaving.
you want. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go over 36 touch. So for lead follow-up.
This is in their book
Yes,
too.
this is in your book, and there are, if Command has a smart plan for this already, multiple different smart plans that have been tailored by different agents for different voices, different systems. Take a look in there and see, it'll be in the smart plan library. So 19 to connect, so
It's still there. You're good.
I know, I just wanted to. I'm thinking that the mouse is opposite of this. Okay. All right, so 19 to connect. So 19 touches each year to 36 touches each year once they're in contact. So once you have a lead, this is kind of your framework for outreach. You should be doing 4 touches quarterly, or 4 touches like a quarterly phone call. 12 touches would be like a monthly email newsletter, market report, or video. And that could be your monthly neighborhood nurture, like trying to get their, whatever, like. So here's something that I've done. I've got them at an open house and I don't have their address, but we had a good conversation. I see that they didn't have an agent and I add them to my database. They're a lead. I will put the area for that open house in there and send them a neighborhood nurture, set them up on a neighborhood nurture for that neighborhood. Give them something, email from me. 2 touches, so promotional direct mail, such as, or a magnet, printed market report, something that they can hold in their hands is another 2 touches. And then 1 touch, like an annual event, invite them to the Easter egg hunt. You know what I mean? Like it's, they could just show up. There's no tracking system for that really.
And
So
add them
you
on
show up,
Facebook.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what your purpose with Facebook.
Add them on Facebook. So it typically takes, I believe I've heard 12 to 13 outreaches before you'll get a response from a lead. And sometimes the response is gonna be like, get the heck out of here, or the response is gonna be, I'm not ready, or I am ready. You know what I mean? That's
Or I
not
bought a
like the-
house.
Yeah,
And you can still put them in your database because guess what? Even though they bought now, if you're gonna be in this long time, 6 to 10 years, there can be a lead if you stay. Cause I'm trying to remember
might
what
even become a referral
the
source.
statistics are
Mhm.
insane with how many people in general have a really good experience, but like 2% of them remember the name of their agent. So
Which is
they're going to be
scary.
looking for someone else.
Yeah, people really don't remember.
It's sad.
One high value touch. So all it takes is one high value touch to solidify the relationship. And that'll be when you get a communication back. That is your one opportunity, your high value touch. One to cement. Then once you've had a conversation with them, a two-way conversation, they go from a lead to a contact. So in command, specifically, when you first put somebody in, if you haven't had a two-way conversation with them, you should mark them as a lead. There's a little box in the contact card where you mark them as a lead. And then once you have two-way conversation with them, you uncheck that box and that will register in your conversion rate. So it makes it easier for tracking your conversion rates. You want to keep track of that. If you don't use command, or if you don't have command, you could do this with
Getting late, yeah, I have to go.
You're good.
It's time.
You're good.
Yeah.
You got our numbers. If you have any questions, we're happy to help.
I will definitely text you, especially once I start doing the social media
Yep.
stuff.
You got it. Just add me on Facebook so you can start like seeing what I post.
All right.
I get annoying because I post everything I feel like, but it's great. It works.
Yeah. So I totally forgot where we're going. Sorry. No, you're good.
You talking about?
Just
I
a
didn't
contact.
get to contact.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. So, even if you don't have command or you don't have access to command, write everything down and you can in Excel create or Google Sheets for free, create a way to keep track of that. And once you convert it, you mark it that you've converted them. That way you know your conversion rate and you have very applicable data for what it looks like when you're going to convert space. So I have a 50-50 chance with an online lead, like an online interaction with somebody, do a video chat for getting a contract signed from a buyer or a seller. It's like 50% built is what it ends up being.
Mhm.
If I get to be with them in person, it's like a 95% chance that they're gonna sign. So that's why, like, stuff like that's important to know your conversion rate and what works best for you. Like, if you don't track it and measure it, you can't improve on it. Okay. I did that. Okay, lead follow-up, best practices. Okay, so considerations for your lead follow-up program. What are
Girls,
my
like a
strengths
journal
and
process you
weaknesses?
could do
Yeah,
on your own.
yeah. So yeah, strengths when working with people. How can I adapt the touches and connects to represent me? So for instance, like we do different types of events that are catered towards different people. Like we do the movie we've converted into a date night that's adult film. And then we have
Because our assistant made a really good point, because I'm like, so just family. She's like, the kids can't refer you, like, why are they taking up a seat in a theater?
why are you paying for somebody?
Yeah.
That
And
was
so
her argument. She's got the
Deadpool,
budget.
yeah. Deadpool was the movie that we did last year, so it was perfect to convert it to a date night because Deadpool was raunchy. And so now we're keeping it to that, and again. Okay. But yeah, that's just kind of playing red light, green light too. Like we could have expanded and got a bigger theater, but that'd be more expensive. But we're like, no, like keep the little kids out and make it so that it's, because who else, like people want date night too, especially when it's free. So,
Absolutely free. And then for like we do other events that are geared towards families or kids, like we do
Easter egg hunt.
Easter egg hunt or
Jump and
we do the
Jingle,
Jump
where
and
we-
Jingle where we rent out a trampoline park. So like, I mean, and what connects with you? So like before I had a kid, all Kaylee's kid events, I was like,
yeah.
this is not connecting with me. And the people that I know, they're like me, there's like, we didn't have an event for just adults, but it actually appealed for you. So like thinking about that full range, and what appeals to you might appeal to somebody else, what doesn't
Like
appeal to you
golfing
might
and
appeal to
shooting,
somebody
those are
else.
all different things that
Yeah.
can be fun. And those would probably be like smaller, tight knit groups too. So that'd be for your top people.
What are some reasons I might have for contacting the lead? You guys already have the best reason ever to contact your sphere of influence, and
Yep.
that's that you just started real estate. That's one thing that I wish I had done is go flat out, literally anybody you've ever known in your entire life, go and tell them the highest value touch you can, tell them that you're in real estate, call them. If
And
they
you've
don't
joined
answer,
a
leave a
really good
voicemail.
team that has tons of experience too. And that
Yes.
team is any one of us here. Like, don't let the lack of experience or confidence like stop you from making those calls. If you need us, we can be your team. Like you can come to us with any questions. We can go on listing appointments with you or buyer consults with you. Like we're happy to do that. Like don't let that be the reason that you're nervous to call them.
And I would say, don't reach out on the team Facebook group and say somebody help, because we're all busy.
Probably
Ask
won't see it in time.
somebody, yeah, nobody will see it in time.
That's why I
Ask
put our
somebody
numbers
specific.
up there.
Always ask somebody specifically.
And if I don't text you back, just call.
Cause that was another mistake I made where I was like, I need somebody to shadow and I got so nervous and I posted on there and I got nothing.
Mhm.
That's because we're busy. If you contact us personally, it's a little bit different.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. So there's many other reasons we talked about people have talked about all the reasons.
Also, if you guys ever think you are gonna reach out to me, you can text me tonight, put your name or name, and I could save you, and then likelihood of me responding is a lot better, because then I don't have to figure out who you.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
Yes. How am I using conversations to let the person know I'm in real estate? We went over that a lot
Mhm.
yesterday too. Yeah. When is it best for me and my business to time block for lead follow-up? So like, that's the thing is you should separate out the two things, lead generation and lead follow-up. Those are two separate activities and two separate time blocks.
Make sure they're realistic times.
Yes, exactly. So like we were saying, 9:45 is probably not the best time for lead follow-up. That, if that's all the time you have, that may be your content creation time. Like, you know what I mean? Stuff that doesn't require physically contacting people. How much time should it take to reach out to a lead? That is one of my biggest challenges, because if I get on the phone, obviously, so you can see here. I get on the phone with somebody, it's like a half an hour phone call. So I'm learning. I got my best friend that will happen to talk to for 3 hours every time. I pick her phone call, so I'm like, I don't have 3 hours to talk to you right now. I got her off the phone in 15 minutes the other day. I am so proud of myself.
And you can always use the
Yeah.
excuse of, hey, I've got an appointment, can we schedule time to call?
Oh, yeah, because your schedule is your schedule and it's a little private. Nobody has to know.
Yeah, no
That
one
you
has
don't
to-
actually have to have an
exactly.
appointment. Hey, you know, you can even start out, if you know, somebody's long-winded. I've only got a few minutes, but I was thinking about you, want to connect. How you
I'm
doing?
listening to the 4-hour work week right now, which probably sounds insane to you guys right now, but it's freaking phenomenal. And that's what it says, is if you are busy or you know it's gonna be a person like that, you can answer it and just say, hey, I've only got a like 5 minutes or whatever, like I've got to jump onto a Zoom call or whatever, like what can I help you with? And be very direct, and it's okay, because you're already telling them why you're being direct, so it's okay to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Even when you're new and you do have more time. Start those habits now.
What will I do to hold myself accountable? Okay. Annual 19 to connect.
That just breaks it
plan.
down, yep.
Yes. Value proposition, personal communication. Oh, make an impact, focus on value. Yes. This is something that I find a lot of people struggle with, value proposition. So defining your value proposition. What speaks to you? So for me, part of my value proposition is I firmly believe in personal property rights. I'm kind of like, not an anarchist, but I'm very like opinionated about political things and about personal property rights. And I think that that's the only way that people are able to save for their future and save for retirement right now. So for me, my feelings behind helping people purchase a home is I'm helping them save for retirement. I'm helping them get probably the best chance that they have money for their future. That really speaks to me. So that's kind of the message that I try to put out. Like, here, this is why this is so important. You know what I
And
mean?
mine kind of falls with that too, is through my houses, I've been able to build into the home that I have now, where if you're continually renting, you're always gonna have that same caliber of home. Where if you actually invest in real estate, even if you have to take a step backwards for a little bit, like you eventually can get there. And I think I need to get better at telling that story too, because I just assume.
So
people
how
know that and they
many
don't.
houses is it taking to get to your house? And Kaylee's house is a 5,000 square foot, absolutely gorgeous house that she was able to build 2 years ago.
4 houses.
It took Kaylee 4 houses, but 4 houses to, and you're 32.
Not yet.
Okay, so
Next week.
yes. So Kaylee is in a 5,000 square foot house at the age of 32 because she purchased 4 houses before that. Like, she had to start somewhere. How many bedrooms was in your first house?
It was 2 bedroom. It was tiny.
1 bathroom.
Downtown Ogden, 1 bathroom, detached garage.
If you hadn't
Really,
bought that
really
first house, see, this is a story you should be telling other people. If she hadn't bought that first house, she
All
wouldn't have
because
the
I got a
opportunity.
pit bull and didn't know you couldn't rent. And my dad told me I couldn't buy a house, and I told him, watch me.
Yeah, Kaylee's amazing. Don't tell her she can't do something. It will freaking happen.
Fire me up.
Yeah. So like connect to your value proposition. What speaks to you and what are you helping people with? Like define your value proposition, define it as early as you can, and it's going to evolve, but that'll help you convey your message and connect personally. And then don't ever forget to use statistics and data.
Mhm.
I've gotten a fight on Facebook this morning.
Oh gosh, over that.
Well, the homeless problem. He tried
Oh.
to claim. I'm not doing it.
Don't let me.
We're not doing it. Anyways. But I have.
We already
data
know all
to
the
back me up,
food
so yeah.
sources.
Yes.
I
Follow
want to make sure that we like catch everything.
has purchased, I'm like, what is this even about? Oh, well, calls. Oh, Why are you thinking about buying yours? Okay, so statements. I have no idea what this is about. I'll be honest. Potential lead sources, oh, calling, community event, open house.
Just the reason to
social media.
call.
Yes, and if you're calling out. Post lead follow-up. I told you it was here.
The funnel.
Yes, all right. So we put people, we capture the lead, you wanna make sure it's in your database. So in your database, you're gonna lose them. I'm not even kidding. I am a chronic scrap of piece of paper note taker. Do you know how many things I've lost? Before I realized instantly, the moment you have them there, put it in your database.
And then, like I mentioned, add a task of what your next action is with them, so you don't forget. Unfortunately.
Put them in your database, even if all you have is their address, even if all you have is their phone number, even if all you have is their email address, put them in your database. So then you can do your relationship management. So remember the difference between leads and contacts. Leads is somebody that you haven't had a two-way conversation with yet. Contacts, you've had a two-way conversation. So you have to cultivate for conversion. They need to stay in your drum. I don't even know what they call this anymore. I call it drum. They have to stay in your drum, rolling around in their drum until they're well-seasoned, shiny little rocks ready to come out and buy a house or sell a house, okay? They shouldn't come out of your database until they're ready to buy a house, and then you should drop them right back in the top. That's basic that. High value touch. Oh, that's
Look,
it.
we made it.
We did it.
Only 14 minutes late. It's fine. That's way better than last time. Any last ahas or questions?
Lots more to follow up. That was super awesome. That was a great class. Great way to spend a Friday evening. A lot of fun. Definitely.
Pretty nice
consistently,
Probably be a beaver, but.
Brandon, you didn't even take it. Hear me complain, man.
Awesome. Thank you, though.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You still have time for dinner.
You're right.
We're
Well,
going
I'll
ski
text you.
dogs, going bowling.
Getting nice.
Bowling.
That's fine.
That place is.
My kids better be in bed.
Yeah,
Of
and
course.
32, that's awesome. Happy birthday.
31.
Yeah.
Jesse.
All
Now
right.
you're older than I. I'm just kidding. What is it?
34.
I think it's Saturday.
You're only a year younger than me in my head.
Yeah,
so.
that is true.
Jesse, are you in your thirds?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
How old are you?
34 or 33. I'm gonna be 34.
Oh, so we're the same age. We're 33. We're 91.
Dead, so good.
Yes.
Me.
Nice.
Yeah,
What
I
class
can
are
watch
you in?
July 10th.
Oh, yeah.
So-
I'm in
Yeah.
December.
Oh,
Makes sense.
please, you're younger than me. No,
Yeah, yeah.
big
But-
difference that 6 months makes.
That was a
Yeah.
great class. Honestly, I loved it. It was consistently, you two kept the attention of everybody in the room
Yeah.
the entire time.
So,
Fire.
Yeah, I travel with
You would
the
be really
Nate,
good at like
babbling,
I don't think
going,
we can
and
do a
I-
credit class
yeah.
on how to build our credit.
I don't know.
I don't know.
how to turn it
How
off.
is high school, like, do they talk about
Turn
that?
the stops here.
And they don't, they're like,
I have no
I have no
idea.
idea
Forwarding.
how mortgage works. What's the difference in that?
Job.
Yes.
Forwarding.
Text him tonight and be like, hey, I want to do this for all my friends. I got your number from